win today in order to stay out of that two-loss column.
Well, what a great matchup we have today as far as the running backs are concerned. The two premier running backs in Conference USA. For East Carolina, Art Brown is having a sensational junior season. We call him Mr. Touchdown, Billy. He scored 12 touchdowns this year.
And he does it when he gets outside the tackles. Look at Art Brown. When he gets into a broken field and can put those moves on a defensive back, boy, I tell you what, he's trouble in the backfield.
Houston has the leading rusher in Conference USA. His name is Joffrey Reynolds. He is a senior from Tyler, Texas. He's played an awful lot of football here for the University of Houston. He's a little bit stockier than Art Brown, and Billy, he has a little bit more power.
That's right. He can go between the tackles and really make things happen. He's got that extra punch. He needs just 39 more yards to become the 16th player in Houston school history to reach that 1,000-yard plateau. I got a feeling we'll see that in the first quarter.
Well, he's also done a really good job with his 100-yard performances this year. He has had 6 of them for Houston. For the Pirates, they're really going to have to step it up as far as their defensive play is concerned. And the guy who's really doing a good job defensively for the Pirates is big number 93, Hosea James, a senior out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. He has 12 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, playing his best football in his senior season at ECU. Hang in there with us. We've got the kickoff of this key Conference USA game coming up. The Pirates and Houston. Between the Pirates and the Houston Cougars. Let's go downstairs now, and here is Amanda Ross.
All right, guys. A great day for football. Rain won't be a factor in this one. Temperatures about in the mid-80s. What will be a factor in this game is the wind, a stiff wind down here on the field all afternoon long. I was talking to Kevin Miller before the game, and he said kicking field goals into the wind, not such a problem. He said, but kickoff could be a problem. He expects to keep the ball low and to the ground all afternoon. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Amanda. Batten down the hatches down there on the field. It is extremely windy here today in Houston, Texas. Game time temperature will be 82 degrees. We have wind gusts of 20 miles per hour, and it will be interesting to see what kind of a factor the wind will have on the kicking game today, and also throwing the football. A little bit humid here in Houston, too. 65% as far as the humidity is concerned, and pretty much sunny here today. It was sunny when we woke up this morning, and really almost feels like a summer day with some strong wind conditions here for the ball game between the Pirates and the Houston Cougars. East Carolina coming in at 2-1 in conference play, 2-5 overall. They're playing still for a conference championship. Houston is 4-4 overall. And as far as Dana Dimmel is concerned, an opportunity for him in his third year to post the first win in his career at Houston and a chance to become bowl eligible. Houston's playing for a winning season and bowl eligibility. As you can see, the Pirates have dominated the series. They've won 3 out of 4 in the last game. The Pirates routed Houston by the score of 62-20. There's a look at Steve Logan in his 11th season as the head coach of the Pirates, the winningest coach in the history of Pirate football. 67-55 overall, right at 55%. Logan has been in Greenville for 14 years, was an assistant for 3 years on Bill Lewis's staff, and now in his 11th season as the head coach at East Carolina. Well, a couple of teams will match up here today that have had turnover problems. His counterpart is Dana Dimmel. And what a story here, Billy. Dana Dimmel played for Steve Logan at Hutchinson Junior College.
Yeah, it was back in the early 80s. And you know what? It's interesting. I was flipping through the Houston Media Guide, and there's actually a picture in there when they have the bio of Dana Dimmel, a picture of him and Steve Logan talking on the field at Bagwell Field at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. And, you know, those two have a great relationship. East Carolina and Coach Logan has a good relationship with a lot of coaches in this league.
Houston will receive the opening kickoff from Kevin Miller, and you can see with the wind at his back, he just goes ahead and booms that thing right through the end zone. As we look at the flags located across the field here, the wind is really whipping the flags at the top of the stadium, and Kevin had that wind at 20-mile-per-hour gust at his back, and he booms it into the end zone. Houston will come out 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. So for the Pirates now, it's heading down the home stretch with 5 games left in the season. They're all Conference USA games. And the Pirates need to start off on the right track in this second half of the season with a victory today. Nick Eddy will be at quarterback today for Houston. There you see the numbers on the big fella. He's out of California. He's a big kid, 6'4", 245 pounds, and they'll start him out in the shotgun, and they'll hand the ball off. And guess who's got it? Joffrey Reynolds for 5 yards right off the bat. And we're going to be calling out his name, Billy, an awful lot.
Yeah, we certainly are, especially with the injury of Chris Robertson, their other tailback in the backfield. He's out with a season-ending injury, and Joffrey Reynolds is one of those guys that gets about 22 to 25 carries a game. We talked to Dana Dimmel, and he said that today Joffrey Reynolds may get 30 to 40 carries easily in this game.
Reynolds is the key guy. Also, at one of the receiver spots, Kikoa Bell is their leading receiver, and there's the revamped offensive line. We'll talk more about that. Hadnot is starting at center in place of Al James, who blew his knee out. He was the best offensive lineman. Out of the I formation, here is Reynolds again. And the Pirates do a better job on him that time. He picks up a couple, and it will bring up third down and 3 yards to go. One of the keys to this game is Travis Heath makes the tackle for East Carolina, number 45, coming off that thigh contusion. Will be to try and corral this guy. Pirates up front with Blair, Duckett, and Hosea James. We talked about in the open, playing really well. Linebackers Gilliam, Chisholm, Butler, Brandon Rayner, and Rico Jones are man in the corners, with Anthony Adams, Jerome Stewart, and Kelly Hardy, the outstanding free safety out of Princeton. So possession play coming up here for the Houston Cougars on their first series. And they'll keep it on the ground, and look at Reynolds go. He's into the secondary, and they're not going to catch Joffrey Reynolds.
Hey, Jeff, that's exactly what East Carolina did not need. They wanted to come in here with the focus on stopping the run, and just like that third play from scrimmage, Joffrey Reynolds reels one off. You just saw it right up the gut. He's got that burst of speed when he gets into the secondary, and once he gets past those defensive backs, nobody's catching Joffrey Reynolds.
We talked about Joffrey, 72 yards on that carry for the touchdown for Joffrey Reynolds. His 7th touchdown of the season, his longest run from scrimmage of the year. And there is the young man, the senior out of Tyler, Texas. 80 yards in 3 plays, and they made it look easy with a 72-yard run by Joffrey. And the extra point is blocked. Pirates do a good job of blocking the extra point by Dustin Bell. And Dustin Bell has missed now 3 extra points on the year, so that's been a little bit of an Achilles heel for the Houston kicking team, and really oftentimes that will come back and haunt you.
You know what? And Houston actually addressed that problem in practice this past week, because the very first game, or the very first touchdown, I should say, of the Houston-Memphis game last week, the extra point was blocked. The same situation as it is here. And Houston just barely squeaked out a win in that game last week. Dana Dimel said that in practice he was going to give his redshirt freshman kicker a little bit of time in practice to kind of push Dustin Bell along. And I'll tell you what, they come out here. Dana Dimel's got to be scratching his head about that. The first extra point attempt, just like last week, blocked. And here you see Joffrey Reynolds. Look at the stiff arm there, and he just gets beyond the secondary. And I'll tell you what, it's off to the races.
Nobody's going to catch him from behind. You can see he's a powerful guy. He's only 5'10", but he has 218 pounds on that 5'10" frame. And he's rewriting the record books here at Houston. So Dustin Bell will put it on the tee, and he will kick it off for the Houston Cougars, who have stunned the Pirates here early with 6 points on the board. They lead it by the score of 6-0. East Carolina will have DeMarcus Fox back deep. There's number 17 out of D.H. Conley High School. DeMarcus averaging 18.6 yards per kickoff return. His longest has been 24 yards this year. And they will kick it to the far side, and it is caught there. And back to the 30-yard line. Edwin Rios, one of the men in front of Fox, makes the catch and takes it back to the 30-yard line. We'll finally see the Pirates coming back onto the field now offensively with Paul Troth at the controls for East Carolina. There's a good look at Paul Troth wearing number 4. The number's on Paul, you see. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He's thrown for 1,379 yards, 51.4% through the air. And the Pirates will go to work, and they'll flare it out of the backfield to Art Brown, and he can't catch the ball. Led him just a little bit too much. Incompleted pass, and Billiot sets up 2nd down and 10.
And we're wondering if the wind has anything to do with that. You don't want to make any excuse, especially on those swing passes. Usually don't have any problems with the wind. But East Carolina is going in the direction of the wind. That's the first pass we've seen today, and that one just got away from Art Brown.
Art Brown's having a great year. Terrance Copper's really coming on, too, for the Pirates at the H-back. Brian Rimp anchors that offensive line for the Pirates at the left tackle spot. The All-America candidate having a real fine year, the junior out of Raleigh. Pirates will keep it on the ground. They'll give it to Richard Alston. He'll try and get to the right side and get a block on the perimeter to the 40, to the 45, run out of bounds to the 48-yard line. A first down for East Carolina. Richard Alston with 18 yards on the reverse, and the Pirates come up with a first down. Houston defensively up front, not real big. Ryan Huffman, Cade Lane, he's just a freshman starting for them. Matthew Bentley and Adrian Lee. Linebackers, an active group, and the 2 corners, Cola, and Malone. And then 3 guys in the secondary as well doing a pretty good job for him, and Milligan is their star back there. First down now for the Pirates. Troth is looking to throw and does. And it is caught at the 42-yard line. Good catch made by Terrance Copper. We mentioned Terrance coming on. That's his 14th catch of the year. Young man out of Washington, North Carolina, Billy, and he's playing some good football.
He certainly is. This is a guy that's becoming a possession receiver for East Carolina. Paul Troth did a great job there of stepping up into the pocket and really drilling that across the middle, so that way no one else but Terrance Copper could catch that ball. Great job by Paul Troth as well.
So the Pirates are on the move in Houston territory. We're just underway. Houston with a 6-0 lead. Troth looking to throw. Pumping. Can he get around the corner? He throws the ball away into the Pirate bench. That was an interesting throw as he was being tracked down from behind.
Yeah, that's dangerous, Jeff.
Yeah, very dangerous.
That's where we have seen Paul Troth get into trouble this year. We saw it 2 weeks ago in Louisville, his only interception of the game. He almost got out of that game without any turnovers, and that's what Coach Logan has really wanted to see from Paul Troth, is to get out of a game without making any youthful mistakes. I mean, he's a young guy, and that happens, but you know, when you get out, in that situation, you got to take the tackle, because more times than not, one of those plays is going to backfire on you.
Second down and 10 now for the Pirates. Jackson was chasing him from behind, and Paul had to unload it. Pirates will keep it on the ground and try and get to the left side. It's Art Brown. Houston does a good job pursuing to the near sideline, knocked him down after a 2-yard gain to the 40-yard line. Art Brown's having a great year. 753 yards rushing coming into the game, a 4.9-yard average, 12 touchdowns, 10 of them on the ground. He's got a couple of touchdown passes. He leads the Pirates in pass receptions with 24. And the Pirates now 3rd down and a long 9, Billy, and it's a key play in the stride.
Yeah, and you'll definitely see a passing play here. You've got one back set. You got Tutu Moy lined up out here. You may see a little out route by the tight end here, so look for that as well.
On 3rd and 9, Troth is back, and he's going to be hit and dropped at the 50-yard line. Man, what a hit by Adelkin. He came blowing in. Nobody picked him up, and Paul's just lucky, Billy. He kept hold of that football.
Yeah, it certainly is. That one, you hit it right on the head there, because those are the plays that you see time and time again. When quarterbacks get hit here on the blind side, so many times the ball pops out. We've seen that earlier in the year with Paul Troth, that happening, the ball popping out. Luckily, that one didn't come out for East Carolina.
So here's Jared Preston, the leading punter in Conference USA, with the wind at his back, and he'll punt this one inside the 5, and it's going to roll into the end zone. It looked like the Pirates might have a chance to down it inside the 5, but he boomed the heck out of that thing. 52 yards on the punt for Jared Preston, and he's been averaging 43.2. Boy, Eddie puts this one right on the numbers here, Billy.
Yeah, Jeff, you'll see, I don't know if you can see here, but Jerome Stewart actually fell on that play. The wide receiver wide open. Robinson had it, stepped out of bounds, but East Carolina dodging a bullet there with Jerome Stewart, the defensive back, falling down on the play.
3rd down and 12 coming up now for Houston. Let's see if Nick Eddy, the California quarterback in his junior season for the Cougars, will put the ball in the air here at 3rd and 12 out of the shotgun. Going to fire, and he again try to hit Brian Robinson, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and 12, and now, Billy, Houston will have to be punting into this wind.
That's right, into the wind, and whenever you're inside your own 20-yard line, it's tough getting one of those off, a good kickoff to get good field position for your defense, and especially when you're kicking into a wind that's gusting up to 20 miles an hour. This could be interesting.
Going to punt the ball away is Jimmy McClary. He's averaging 39.4 yards per punt. And back deep for the Pirates, it's Terrance Copper. He's 17th in the nation in punt returns, averaging 14.5 yards per return. Houston now shows a little bit of a different look as far as their punt protection is concerned, and McClary will get it out of there. Terrance is going to let this one roll, and it gets a real good Cougar roll inside the 30-yard line, and it is going to go dead at the 27-yard line. 54 yards on the punt by McClary. That's his best of the year. 53 was his previous best. So the Pirate offense will come out in their own territory trying to tie this thing up. We're coming back right after this. 38-yard line. Second series for East Carolina as they Take the handoff to Art Brown. The pass down the field, intended for Terrance Copper, and it's just overthrown.
Hey, Jeff, I think that's a case of just getting a little too much wind on it. When you throw those deep passes and you've got any sort of wind, when you get up to 15, 20 mile an hour winds, that really affects those high balls. You saw a lot of arch on that ball there. It's going to take a little bit of time for both of these quarterbacks to kind of figure out this wind situation here, because there is a very stiff wind blowing here at Robertson Stadium.
Second down and 10 coming up. Troth is operating with that wind at his back. They'll send 3 receivers out to the left side, and the Pirates will keep it on the ground and give it to Art Brown, and nothing. Houston's not been a very good defensive football team this year, as the Cougars, like the Pirates, have been struggling defensively. They've been giving up 31.2 points per ball game. They're giving up 383 yards per game. They're giving up 131 on the ground and 252 passing.
Jeff, if you look up and down the stats, offensively and defensively, these are two very evenly matched teams. Where they are separate is in the rushing game, and we saw that with Joffrey Reynolds.
Third down and 9 coming up. Pirates looking to convert on third down. East Carolina 39% on third down this year. Troth will look and throw, and it's picked off. At the 50-yard line, picked off by Houston. Troth's 13th interception of the season, picked off on the far sideline.
Jeff, Houston rushed two pass rushers on that play and dropped everyone else back into coverage, and that was a result of getting that. You had 5 guys in the defensive secondary. Look at this. 2 guys up front rushing the passer. Paul Troth throwing it into triple coverage, trying to get it to Tutu Moy, and you just can't do that.
Victor Malone made the interception for the Houston Cougars. We've got a flag down on the field.
And it looked like it was thrown on the bench over here, Jeff.
Yeah, this one may not stand as far as the INT is concerned. Pirates may get a break here.
Well, I think the flag may have come after the interception.
May have.
I saw it fly after the interception.
We have an illegal block below the waist against Houston. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Billy, you're exactly right. The block below the waist came after the interception was made by Victor Malone, his second interception of the season. The senior out of Brooksville, Mississippi, by way of East Mississippi Junior College. Houston has 21 junior college players on their football team. But a lot of them are stepping up, Billy, and making big contributions, and Dana Dimmel knew he had needs for some immediate help, and he has really gone out and gotten some JC kids.
That's that quick fix. You know, when you're in it for the long haul and you want to build a program, you try and recruit those players. But if you need a quick fix after an 0-11 season, sometimes you got to do that.
Well, they needed some help, and they're getting them for some of these kids. There's Joffrey Reynolds, steps out of one tackle, breaks another tackle, and then he's really clobbered from behind. Well, that was a hit by Moten. Speaking of junior college players, he's a junior college player for the Pirates. Richard Moten out of Oklahoma making the hit for the Pirates, and it will bring up second down and 7. Reynolds got 3 yards, but really he paid for it on this.
Yeah, he certainly did. And, you know, East Carolina is one of those teams that doesn't really get a whole lot of junior college players. Steve Logan has always said he likes to try and recruit guys and bring them into the program because, you know, with junior college players, you can get those good junior college players every so often. We saw it with Keith Stokes. I mean, he was great here for 2 years, and sometimes you can get those diamonds in the rough out of junior colleges. But for the most part, Coach Logan likes to try and build his program through recruiting.
Well, there's a junior college ex-player, Dana Dimmel, played for Logan at Hutchinson, and now the head coach here at the U of H. Second down, 7. They'll keep it on the ground, and Reynolds is out of there, and his backup is in Anthony Evans, who carries the ball to the left side. Anthony Evans, almost exactly the same size as Joffrey Reynolds. He's 5'10", 210, but this kid is only a freshman, a Texas kid. He's had a chance to play quite a bit as a freshman, 108 yards coming into the ball game today, and he rips one off to the left side, and it's third down and 1.
Yeah, East Carolina's defense needs to come up with a big stand here. They've been on the field way too long, Jeff.
On third down and 1, they'll keep it on the ground, and it's Evans rolling his way forward across the 50. He's down to the 48-yard line. A first down for Houston. Let's go downstairs to Amanda.
Well, guys, not a huge crowd for homecoming today. Houston is actually second to last in Conference USA. Robertson Stadium, as far as attendance goes, averaging about 17,400 fans per game. The capacity of the stadium, 32,000. Not a whole lot of support here today. Back to you guys.
Has to be very disappointing on homecoming to have such a small crowd here today at Houston. First down and 10. The Cougars are in Pirate territory at the 48-yard line, and again, they'll keep it on the ground. To the 46-yard line is Joffrey Reynolds. He was out just momentarily. He's back in, picks up 2, and Billy, it looks like they're just going to try and ram the ball down the Pirates' throats.
Yep. Well, they know the Pirates have been vulnerable against the run, and you know whatever's working, you stay with it. Dana Dimel's a smart young coach. He knows that hey, you got the league's leading rusher in the backfield. Why not use him? We talked about him getting maybe 30 or 40 carries this game, and hey, Jeff, he's well on his way.
Second down and 8 coming up. Pirates giving up 200 yards per game on the ground, 213 passing, 413 yards per ball game. Here comes Reynolds again. This time he gets tripped up at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Warren Blair getting into the backfield with a big tackle there. And, you know, sometimes you got to just kind of grab onto an ankle and hold on with Joffrey Reynolds. And he's one of those guys that, like an Art Brown, he's so shifty and, you know, he can elude tackles a lot. Great job by Warren Blair to get that push up front and get past those. You know, we haven't talked about the beef of this offensive line for Houston. These guys are huge.
They are absolutely huge. Redding at left tackle, 355. Hadnot, the center today, is 310. Bryant's 290 at left guard. They're going to throw the ball out of the backfield, and it's knocked down incomplete. It's going to set up 4th down and 7 across the front. They also go with Wheeler at right guard. He's 305. The right tackle is Williams at 310. And they've got big tight ends that weigh 255 pounds each.
That last play you saw off the edge, Krishawn Gilliam coming out and giving Nick Eddy a little shot at the end of that one. So look for Krishawn Gilliam to come off that rush edge and did a good job in that last play.
Here's McClary to punt it away again. Sun-drenched field here at Robertson Stadium today. And Terrance Copper looks up and says, let's just let this one roll out of bounds. And it does inside the 20. Pirates will be in Birmingham to take on UAB, and we'll have the telecast for you as well. Right here coming up next week, same time, same station, 3 o'clock for the Pirates and the UAB Blazers in Conference USA play next week. East Carolina will start this series at its own 17-yard line. First down and 10 as the Pirates will keep it on the ground, give it to Marvin Towns that time, and Marvin for a couple. It'll bring up second down and 8. Marvin is the sophomore out of Warrenton, 187 yards coming into the game, 3.7-yard average. Billy, he's had those cramping problems, especially on a hot day. They're going to have to watch him today. Yeah,
well, the good news is that when they brought the stationary bike to Louisville 2 weeks ago, he stayed on that regularly to keep from cramping up, and it seemed to work. And I can see from where we're sitting, the stationary bike's here once again, so hopefully he'll be able to stay in the majority of this game.
Throwing the football, it is complete as Desmond Robinson is at quarterback for the Pirates, and he throws and gets the pass completion to Torey Morris. And we're seeing Desmond Robinson early here, Billy.
Well, it's that
third series.
You're right. So, you know, Steve Logan's made no bones about it all this year that he wants to get Desmond Robinson in on the third series of the first half and the third series of the second half. So we'll see if Desmond Robinson can give this team a spark.
Third down and 1 coming up. Desmond Robinson is now 5 of 11 throwing the football. They'll keep it on the ground, get it to Marvin Towns, and he's tackled short of the first down, about 2 yards short. Houston doing a good job. Number 29, Jermaine Woodard, came up, made the tackle. Hometown product from right here in Houston. He's one of their best defensive players, number 29. He was a third-team freshman All-America last year.
You know, their safeties and their cornerbacks really come up and tackle real well, and that's a strong point for this defense. And you know, their safety is leading the team in tackles this year.
Real solid tackle that time by Woodard. And Preston is in now to boot it away for the Pirates, already having a busy first quarter. Garrett just does get that one away. Yeah, the punt returner is going to let it roll.
And the wind gets to it. You better get to it quick. Look at this.
Terrible decision that was. Down at about the 1-yard line by the Pirates.
I think they're going to call it a touchback, Jeff. It looked like the referee gave the signal for a touchback.
Looked like the Pirates touched the ball at about the 1 yard. That was a 76-yard punt by Jared Preston. Kikoa Bell let that ball get behind him.
Yep, it's going to come out to the 20.
And back out to the 20. It's been that kind of a year for the Pirates.
Yep, it certainly has. That one could have been and should have been down at the 1-yard line, and you can see right there Coach Logan not very happy at this. Key Bell just lets it go by him, and
He knows he made a mistake.
Yeah,
right
he does. You can look at him, he's like, oh, my goodness, because with this wind, it just kept going and going and going, and that just picked the ball up. Right there, just picked the ball up.
Pirates didn't do it. And it cost them 20 yards in field position. Houston will come out now first and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Cougars will keep the ball on the ground. They'll go with Antwane Yelverton. And he grinds out 5 yards, brings up second down and 5 yards to go.
Yeah, he just bullied his way through there, right between the tackles, straight up the gut. You know what? Houston's not doing anything fancy, Jeff. They're just lining it up and say, hey, we're going to run it right down your throat. Stop it.
And I think that's what the Pirates are going to see in many of these Conference USA games coming up. Southern Miss tries to do that. We know Cincinnati's a strong physical team, even though they're throwing the ball around a little bit better now. TCU, it plays so physical.
Yeah.
And they've got Lonte Hobbs, who's an outstanding freshman running back, and they're making their living running the football. So the Pirates are going to see a lot more of that in these next 4 weeks. Ronnie Pugh makes the tackle that time. Ron Evans.
Yeah, watch here. Ronald Pugh gets a good he just sheds off the blocker, comes around the edge, and gets into the backfield. That's what the Pirates are going to have to do on defense today. They have got to get good rushing off the edge, and Ronald Pugh coming off the edge there and showing his speed for a big guy.
3rd and 5, possession play coming up for the Houston Cougars. They're 42% on 3rd down this year. Going up, catching the football, making a great catch down the far sideline. Is McCardle making a great catch for 24 yards, and that's a receiver going up making a play, Billy. He made a great break and play on that ball.
That's right, and that's a receiver going up. There was a full-out blitz by the defense. You see the rush out on the edge, and right here, it's Antwane Yelverton never turns around and looks for the ball, and as a result, the receiver gets up, catches the ball right over Antwane Yelverton for a big gain there.
Jeremy McCardle making the catch. And a first down for Houston. They'll keep it on the ground. Here's Reynolds. No blocking out there. And a fine tackle made by Travis Heath at the 49-yard line. Young man out of Tarboro came up, made the hit. Travis has been dealing with that thigh contusion. They've had blood in his thigh and had a hard time getting it out of there. And he has been sorely missed in the secondary for the Pirates. He's one of East Carolina's better secondary performers, and they've really missed him. He started the ball game today, and he's back and playing, and he'll make a difference.
Yeah, he certainly does. We saw him make a difference in that Louisville game, too. He was in on a bunch of tackles at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium.
Second down coming up, and he's going to throw it this time.
All the time.
Going to air it out there. He's got a man out there turning around for the ball. Catches the ball inside the 10, down to the 2-yard line. Another catch by Brian Robinson, who really loves the Pirates. 47 yards on that pass completion. Brian Robinson in 1999 caught 12 passes against East Carolina for his all-time high.
Jeff, watch the replay here. Watch Robinson get separation on the defensive back. You'll see it here. Watch here. The little push off on Jerome Stewart. Jerome Stewart not in the right position. And there you go. 49-yard hookup.
Brian Robinson, All-Conference USA performer in 2000. And here's Houston now, 1st and goal inside the Pirate 5-yard line. Guess who's got the ball? Joffrey Reynolds, and Pirates do a good job. They stack him up at the 4-yard line.
I'd give it to Joffrey Reynolds 4 times right here if you had to.
Just tell those big hosses up front, guys, move them off the line of scrimmage. Pirates do a good job that time of knocking Reynolds down, and this will bring up 2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line. We're inside a minute. As you can see in the first quarter, Houston leads 6-0. They're looking for another score here to go up a couple of touchdowns. This time Tim Feathers is the big blocking back in front of Joffrey Reynolds, and they'll give it to Joffrey, and he's knocked down. 1-yard pickup. Boy, Demaine Duckett made a good play. Billy got down low and got Reynolds.
Yeah, he certainly did. And Demaine Duckett, what do you say about this guy? He is huge. Demaine Duckett is I tell you what, he's one of the biggest, most physical guys on that defensive line. And when Demaine Duckett's playing well, usually the defense is playing well. This is the case where Demaine Duckett, Hosea James, these guys really got to bow their necks here and keep Houston out of the end zone.
Time runs out, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. When we come back in the second quarter, Houston is knocking on the door. We're at Robertson Stadium, John O. Quinn Field, Houston, Texas. Jeff Charles, Billy Weaver, and Amanda Ross. Nice to have you aboard for East Carolina Pirate football. The Pirates trail Houston 6-0 as we get ready for the second quarter on this 82-degree day in the Lone Star State. Pirates looking for their third win in Conference USA. They have wins over Tulane and Army, a loss to Louisville. Billy, the way this season has unfolded, that win over Tulane is looking better and better. Tulane's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tulane's got a big test today with TCU, though, and we'll just see how good Tulane has and how much they have improved.
Houston will keep it on the ground. There's a block on the perimeter, and there goes Joffrey Reynolds into the touchdown.
Yep.
Well, when you saw that kind of daylight on the corner, you knew he was going to take it in. And Joffrey Reynolds has scored a couple of touchdowns. He has 8 now on the season. And he takes it in from 3 yards out. That drive, 80 yards, 8 plays, consumed 329. And the Cougars are on top by the score of 12-0. Let's see, Billy, now if they'll go for 2 and try and get that missed extra point back.
Yeah, I would imagine that's what they're going to do. And like I said, give it to Joffrey Reynolds 4 times if you have to. They only had to give it to him 3 times. He finds pay dirt.
There he is, Conference USA's leading rusher, ahead of both Derek Nix and Art Brown, who is third for East Carolina in the conference rushing race. And they will go for 2 and try and get that point back. They'll keep it on the ground and right through the middle goes number 6, Anthony Evans, for the 2-point conversion.
That's straight up the gut, nothing fancy, just powers his way right into the end zone, and got one of those big offensive linemen down on the ground. Look at these guys, are huge.
That's Chris Wheeler. Big number 74, he thunders off the field. 14-0, it's Houston. 14:52 to go, second period. We're coming right back. Pirates nothing. Houston going with that 2-point conversion after missing the extra point following their first touchdown, and they hand it off. It was Reynolds, of course, with the touchdown run. His second of the day. He scored both touchdowns today for the U of H. And they have the 14-0 lead over East Carolina. Well, we expected some points to be scored in this one. They're all right now being scored by Houston. Houston comes in averaging 27.1 a game. The Pirates 26.9 points per game. The Pirates have yet to get their offense on track. Marcus Fox will look up and watch this one sail right over his head. The wind at the back of the kicker, Dustin Bell. And the Pirates will come out now going into the wind at their own 20-yard line.
Hey, Jeff, we just haven't seen East Carolina's offense start to get anything going here at all. They just seem very out of sync. They need to get something going on this drive because they cannot afford to let this thing get out of hand early.
Paul Troth was in for the first 2 series, and then we saw Desmond Robinson on the 3rd series, as has been customary, and now Troth is back again for the Pirates. At the 20-yard line. A little option pitch. Pitches it for us, developed way too slow.
Yeah, it certainly did.
At the 16-yard line, loss of 4, second down at 14. Boy, Billy, you just have to be more crisp on the option than that.
Well, and you got to be quicker. And, Paul Troth isn't the quickest guy in the world. When you got Desmond Robinson in at quarterback, you can run that option. But you know what? Like you said, this just way slow in developing. And the pursuit from the Houston defense just gets there way too quickly. And, that one was snubbed out before it even got going.
And then when you lose 4 on first down, really puts you in a hole. It's second down and 14. Ben Thomas, the flex end, is in motion. Troth is going to throw it. It's caught out of the backfield and being tackled and horse-collared at the 20-yard lines. Marcus White catching the ball out of the backfield. Marcus is a guy that has a lot of talent. He's had some shoulder and injury problems throughout his East Carolina career. Makes the catch there. He's not caught too many balls this year. That's only his 5th catch of the season.
Yeah, now you're in a 3rd down and 10 situation with the wind in your face, and you got to pick up a first down here.
And you got to be careful here too.
You do.
3rd and 10. You don't want to throw an
interception that can turn into an easy touchdown.
Not force it here. It's better just to go ahead and punt it. And they'll keep it on the ground. Give it to Marvin Towns, trying to get to the outside. Marvin goes for the first down marker, and let's see
where he may have gotten it. It's a good spot.
Yeah,
very good
where
spot.
He went out of bounds.
The spot there is right at the marker. We may see a measurement. I haven't seen a first down. Well, yeah, we have seen a first down indication from the referee. Great job by Marvin Towns. Watch at the end of this run. He gets that extra little push. He takes it, bounces outside right here, and then you'll see the extra push right there on the defensive back, and he gets the first down. Great run by Marvin Towns.
Pirates going with the draw on 3rd down and 10, and they come up with a first down. He ran through the tackle, did Marvin, of Roland Tola. Got the first down. Pirate drive stays alive, so they overcome that 4-yard loss on first down. They'll keep it on the ground again and a hold to the right side. Good run off the right side to the 37-yard line, again by Marvin Towns. So Marvin getting some carries here, spelling Art Brown in this second period. Good to see Marvin getting some work.
And, Jeff, look on the replay. Look who springs him for the block right there. Number 7, Terrance Copper, the wide receiver, the split end, getting out there and throwing a little block and giving Art some room to run.
2nd down and 3. 7 yards on the pickup by Towns, and now Troth looking, throwing to the left side, and it is caught. Diving catch made by Eddie Rios at the 43-yard line. Rios making the reception. He's one of the pint-sized receivers for the Pirates, only 5'8", 167 pounds. Makes his 7th catch of the season, and it's enough for the first down, so the Pirates have it going now. 1st and 10, East Carolina at its own 44-yard line.
Got a little bit of a drive going here, and that helps confidence-wise for your quarterback and the whole team as well, that they can get this drive starting to go here.
Marcus White is in motion. Pirates will keep it on the ground again. And this is Art Brown, or rather Marvin Towns again to the 46. He picks up 2. Brings up 2nd down and 8.
Marvin Towns carries.
Houston's defense, much like the Pirates, they've had some problems stopping people this year. They've been getting a little bit better here of late with those back-to-back wins over Army and Memphis. Their defense has been playing some better football. Earlier in the year, they were having trouble stopping people, and that was the case last year when they suffered through a nightmarish season. Last year, Houston was 0-11, did not win a football game.
I guess they went on a streak of 14 consecutive losses, and that hurt.
2nd down and 8, and Troth has pressure, and one hop the intended receiver. Going to bring up 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
Yeah, Jesse Souls coming in off the edge and getting right into the face of quarterback Paul Troth. Troth had to get rid of it a little bit too early and skips it on the ground and got a big 3rd down coming up here. 3rd and long again, once again for the Pirates.
3rd down and 9, East Carolina again this year on 3rd down. Pirates 39%. And ironically enough, Houston's defense, 39%. So let's see what happens. They're going to rush 3. Troth should have time. He does. He flares it out. Coming out of the backfield. Catch is made short of the first down. Marvin Towns could not get away from Roland Tola. Out of Marrero, Louisiana, coming up, making the stop. Another JC kid out of Dodge City Community College. Good tackle. Kikoa Bell goes back deep. He'll field the punt. Kikoa averaging 10.2 yards per return. His longest has been 32. And Conference USA's best punter, Jared Preston, is in. He's also 11th in the nation. And this time he shanks it off the side of his foot. Billy out of bounds.
Yeah, you don't see that very often
from
Jared Preston. That was an end-over-end kick. And, luckily he had some room to play with. He's kicking from his own 45, 50-yard line. So just a 22-yard punt, but luckily it didn't hurt them as bad as that 22-yard punt would have hurt them had they not got that key first down early on in this series.
A very rare, poor Jared Preston punt. Houston will come out to the line of
Go
scrimmage.
right back to him. He gets off a big chunk, but big 2nd down here. You still got 10 yards to go.
Penalty really hurt. 2nd down and 10. Ball is at the 20-yard line. Troth will throw. He'll fire. Man's wide open. It's Terrance Copper catching the football, and he's got enough for the first down. Good catch by Terrance Copper, the junior out of Washington, North Carolina, making the reception. Terrance now has 15 catches on the year, 19 yards, and Troth that time really threw a frozen rope to Terrance Copper.
Right into the wind, too. That was a great pass. Watch it on the replay here. The play action. That's what happens when Art Brown reels off 2 big runs back-to-back. That gets the defense thinking run. Then you go to the play action pass, and Paul Troth, a frozen rope right across the middle to Terrance Copper.
1st and 10 from the 39. Pirates will keep it on the ground, and here comes Brown again to the outside. He's run over from behind,
Maybe
and
a face
flags
mask.
all over.
Oh, yeah. About 4 of them flew in there, and Art Brown yelling, hey, got me. And this is going to depend on whether it's a big one or a little one. Have to look at the replay and see if it was an incidental face mask or if it's the big one. And 15, we'll have to see.
Art rips off 10 yards again on that run, so the Pirate run game is really now starting to crank up. The guys up front, Brian Rimp, Charlie Dempsey, Doug White, Brian Fox, Phoenix Evans, starting to open some holes up front. Art Brown starting to get something done now on the ground for East Carolina.
Yeah, you'll see. Oh, yeah, pulled him right down. That's the big one. 15 yards, going to take it all the way down inside the 35-yard line of the Houston Cougars. That's a huge play for East Carolina.
Art Brown, 6 carries and 33 yards. Art coming in, averaging 107 yards per game, and that's 27th best in the nation. Mickey McCoy is in motion. Pirates keep it on the ground. Here's Brown again. He got around one, and then help comes quickly at the 35-yard line. Looked like Art was going to go for a little more yardage, but West came up and made a good tackle for Houston.
Yeah, the defense really collapsed the hole very quickly on that play. I thought on the delayed draw that Art may have gotten the defense back on their heels, but Houston's defensive line guys, they stayed with their assignments and closed the hole pretty quickly.
2nd down and 9 for the Pirates with the ball at the 34-yard line. East Carolina desperately trying to get some points on the board. Troth looking to throw. Pressure coming from the backside. Airs it out. Torey Morris jumps up, catches the football into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates. Torey Morris made a great play to catch that ball on the near sideline on into the end zone for the touchdown. Torey Morris comes up with his 2nd touchdown of the season, and the Pirates are finally on the board.
They had a little go route here, and watch this. He gets a shot. Paul Troth gets a shot after the ball is released. Torey Morris using that big wide receiver frame to go up and take the ball. Watch this here by Paul Troth. Delivers the ball and watch the shot. Well, you don't see it there, but on the go route, a little push off by the receiver. No harm, no foul. Touchdown, Pirates.
And the extra point by Kevin Miller. He needs only...
They'll just take the wind right out of your sail. After scoring a touchdown to get right back into this ball game, they give up a 50-yard kickoff return.
They'll keep it on the ground to Joffrey Reynolds to the right side. Reynolds to the 24-yard line. I think, Billy, as far as coaches are concerned, that's the one thing that gets them more upset than anything. Long kickoff returns, long punt returns. I'll guarantee you the Pirate coaching staff pulling their hair out on the sideline after that one.
And especially after you just scored. You got things going. You finally got a drive. You finally got some momentum going. Then on the ensuing kickoff, 50 yards just like that.
2nd down and 7 coming up as Reynolds goes for 3. Ball at the 24-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. And here's Reynolds. He was popped hard.
Yeah.
Drive forward to the 19-yard line. Let's go down to Amanda.
Well, guys, both Dustin Bell from Houston and Kevin Miller from ECU, both place kickers, were named semifinalists earlier this week for the Luke Rose Award. This is Kevin Miller's 3rd time being a semifinalist for this award. Now, the past 2 years, the kickers from Conference USA have taken the Luke Rose Award. So the 3 finals will be narrowed down at the end of November. But right now, Kevin Miller, Dustin Bell on the semifinal list. Back to you guys.
Reynolds is hit and knocked down hard at the 20-yard line. And, of course, Conference USA, Amanda's had a great reputation, as you mentioned, for kickers Jonathan Ruffin at Cincinnati and Seth Marler at Tulane. Award winners, and the kid really having a spectacular year this year kicking the football is the guy at TCU, Nick Brown, who probably right now would be the odds-on favorite to win the Lou Groza Award and keep it in Conference USA for another year.
Speaking of which, we're going to see a Dustin Bell attempt for a field goal here.
And they're going to slot this one down at the 28. It will be a 38-yard attempt. Bell has been very accurate this year. He's 8 out of 9. From this distance, he's 2 of 2. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Dustin Bell, 90% on field goals. Now he kicks field goals. 17-7, Houston with the lead as Dustin Bell comes back out onto the field. And the thing about the Houston football program now, Billy, it's a shame there aren't more people here at this game, or It's really a shame to see the way their attendance has gone south on them, because I can remember the days of the University of Houston being a terrific college football program. They were a perennial top 10 team. They've had some great years. They've finished 14th in the nation a couple of times. Actually, in 1979, they finished 5th in the country in the AP poll. They finished 4th in the country. In 1976, Bill Yeoman was the legendary coach here. For 25 years, was the inventor or father of the Houston beer that they used to run. And when they didn't make the cut, and the Southwest Conference dissolved, and they did not make the cut with the Texas A&Ms, Texas Techs of the world, and Arkansas then, of course, went into the Southeastern Conference. The program just has not been the same since then, and they had to find a home in Conference USA, and they've just struggled as far as fan support is concerned since then.
Yeah, the fans around here, they're used to big-time football. You talk about the Texases and the Texas Tech and the Texas A&M. They're used to big-time football around here, and when you don't play those teams year in and year out, it hurts the attendance.
Now, when they used to play in the old days, Texas A&M at the Astrodome, it was packed and rocking, but those days are long gone now for the University of Houston. Pirates come out first and 10 at the 20-yard line. Troth the throw. It is caught at the 25-yard line by Richard Horrigan. He got away. Horrigan to the 50. Richard to the 40. Brought down from behind at the 35-yard line. Great catch. Good run after the catch by the walk-on from Terry, Richard Horrigan.
Outstanding move. The initial move, the turn spin around was great. The only problem I had with that, he started looking back. Young fella, don't look back. Just go. Turn on the jets. Watch him right here. Look back. Hey, keep going. Look straight ahead and just turn on the jets. But a great job by Richard Horrigan, a former walk-on in this program, making some noise for the Pirates.
Did a good job, too, as he was being tackled, held on with both hands. This kid is so fundamentally sound, and he always catches the ball. He's got great hands. First and 10 from the 35. Art Brown trying to turn the corner, got away from one, and cut it back inside like a pinball. He's getting bounced around, and finally going down at the 31-yard line. They turned Art every which way but loose that time.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and you said pinball. That's exactly what he looked like. Inside, outside, bouncing off tackles. But that's Art Brown. He's going to get a little blow here, and we'll see Marvin Towns come in and give him a little bit of rest. And Vonta Leach also coming in as a blocking back, and that's another guy I love to watch. Vonta Leach. He's been helping Art Brown a lot this year, get into that secondary.
Well, let's see if Vonta can get a carry or two, and I really think they're just about ready to start throwing him the football out of the backfield as well. Troth, play action, will throw. Man is wide open, and he drops the football at the 5-yard line. 2-2, boy, had 6 points. All he has to do is catch the ball, and he drops it at the 5-yard line.
That will just absolutely drive you nuts if you're a coach. You couldn't have asked for a better opportunity right here. Watch the replay and watch Vonta Leach stymieing the defensive lineman, Paul Troth, all day, and just got to bring it in.
Almost looked like Tutu, for whatever reason, kind of hopped when he went to go
he certainly
catch the
did.
football.
Yeah,
I don't know why he did that.
He just needed to stay in stride. Paul hit him in stride. He looked like he slowed up right at the last second.
7 out of 13 for Troth through the air. Third down and 5. He dropped 6 points. Let's see if the Pirates can get it back. Troth looking. He's in trouble. He's going down. Sacked at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's what you don't get from Paul Troth, is that escapability. He's still trying to learn that. When you step up in the pocket, that would have been a deal where look off your first and second receivers. If you don't see anybody, take off and run. But that hesitation step right there, you saw just a little bit of a hesitation here by Paul Troth. Does a good job here stepping up in the pocket, but he doesn't take off immediately, and as a result, he got a sack.
4th and 9, and the Pirates will go for it at the Houston 33. East Carolina trailing 17-7. 2:44 to go first half. They'll go for it on 4th and 9. Troth to throw. He looks over the middle. Alston goes up and catches the ball. Great catch by Richie Alston down to the 3-yard line of Houston.
Richard Alston, man, he's becoming a go-to guy for this Pirate offense. Paul Troth just loves him. That's his 19th consecutive game of at least having one catch and a big 4th down catch. Great pass across the middle by Paul Troth, and look at Richard Alston just go up and take that one. A great fingertip catch. Just a great pitch and catch right there on a 4th down play. That was a huge play for the Pirates.
Starting to pick on number 22, Victor Malone, a little bit in the Houston secondary. Now the Pirates have it first down and goal from the 4. Here's Art Brown to the left side. He walks into the end zone. Touchdown, East Carolina. So the Pirates are getting themselves right back into the football game here. It's 17-13, 2:14 to go in the first half. And so the drop by Tutu Moy does not come back to haunt East Carolina. They're able to put the ball in the end zone anyway.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. This drive could have went one of two ways. It could have really went south after that drop pass by Tutu Moy, or on a fourth down, they pick it up and then go score the touchdown, and hey, they're right back into this ball game. It's a 4-point game.
And the extra point, good by Kevin Miller, and it's a 3-point ball game. 17-14. Houston had a 14-0 lead. Since that point, the Pirates have put a couple of touchdowns on the board and just a field goal for Houston. So the Pirates have outscored them here 14-3. And Kevin Miller with his second extra point of the day. Kevin now needs 3 points to become East Carolina's all-time point leader. Kevin now on extra points this year is 22 out of 24. And the Pirates have gotten themselves, Billy Weaver, right back into this football game.
They certainly have, and that was another impressive drive. And going for it on fourth down, I think, was an absolutely wonderful call. You didn't have anything to lose. Your offense was sputtering a little bit. If you go for fourth down on there and you miss it, then, you know, you're thinking, hey, that missed catch for a potential touchdown really hurt you. But I tell you what, Richard
real important 2:14 coming up. Pirates don't want to give up any more points. They've got some momentum now. Trailing by just 3 points, they could go into the locker room at halftime with a little momentum here if they can stop Houston with a 3 downs and out. Coming up short. And the Cougars will run the ball back to the 40-yard line. Shermer will return it, one of the up men. 18 yards on the kickoff return. And, Billy, this is a very important series now for this defense. The Pirate defense has to come out, play well, not give up any points here.
Absolutely. If they can hold Houston to a 3 and out, they will be in absolute great position, because you hold them to 3 and out, then you give your offense that's starting to click right now. You give your offense a chance to maybe score before halftime, maybe tie this thing up, or even take the lead going into halftime. And I tell you, when East Carolina was down 14-0, you wouldn't have been able to convince me that they had the opportunity to take the lead into halftime.
Whistles and flags on first down from the 40-yard line. We'll see what this one's all about. Stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming up for you at halftime, including a piece that Amanda Ross did for us. A look back at the 1972 East Carolina Southern Conference Championship team.
5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That was a great year in East Carolina athletics, not only for the football team, but for a lot of sports at ECU. 1972, and just a few weeks ago, they honored the 30th anniversary team, and Amanda will take a look at that football team from 1972. First and 15, Eddie, oh man, there's a man wide open, catches the ball, McCardle, he's in, touchdown, Houston, and that is exactly, or Robinson, I should say, exactly what the Pirates did not want to happen. Brian Robinson, who for whatever reason makes a living against the Pirates every time they play, catches this one for 60 yards and a touchdown.
We've seen it twice. When East Carolina goes down and scores, Houston answers, and that's been the way this ball game has been going in the first half. Houston finding a way to answer, and Nick Eddy just had all the time in the world behind that offensive line to find a receiver, streaking down the middle. Robinson wide open. He was, I guess, a probably good 5 or 6 yards behind the secondary on that one, wide open for the easy touchdown.
Here's the extra point now coming up from Dustin Bell, and Dustin Bell missed one earlier. He's hit a couple, and Houston leads 24-14. And Billy, that just absolutely breaks your back here.
It absolutely does. Look at Nick Eddy on the play action, and see, that's what play action does for you. When you've got a running game like Houston does, and you have a threat in the backfield of a Joffrey Reynolds, that opens up the passing game. That came off the play action pass. Robinson getting deep into the secondary, wide open, and that's a quick 6 points in about 13 seconds.
Brian Robinson with a couple of touchdown catches today against the Pirates, his first 2 of the season. He's out of Florida, Daytona Beach, got great size for a receiver. He's 6'4", 210 pounds.
There it is, 13-second drive.
And he's been one of the best receivers Houston's had over the last few years. He's had a really, really good career with the Houston Cougars through a couple of different coaches. When he first came here, he played for Kim Helton. And now, of course, He's playing for Dana Dimmel in his third year, coming to Houston from Wyoming, where he was the head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys and did a really good job at Wyoming as the head coach there. He was 23-12 with the Pokes in 3 years. Bell will kick it off, and he will boom this one right on out of the end zone, and the Pirates will have it again with 1:50 to go. So this last 2 or 3 minutes is going to take a long time here with the way these teams are scoring, and now we flip the coin, Billy, on the other side. Now the Pirates, if they can put one on the board again, they'll get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, we're starting to get that shootout we were looking for. We had figured that this could be an offensive shootout. Both these teams scoring a lot on offense. We didn't see that early on in the first quarter, but now in the second quarter, both teams starting to light the scoreboard up.
At the 20-yard line, the Pirates will come to the line of scrimmage. First down and 10. Troth will hand off to Art Brown. Getting to the corner, and loses yardage on the first play from scrimmage on first down. It's going to bring up second down and 12 yards to go. Art had a great game against South Florida. He had 188 yards against USF. He had 185 against Tulane. He had 161 against Army. He's put up some big-time numbers this year. And he's got a chance to score more touchdowns in a single season than anybody who's ever played for East Carolina. The record is 18 by Leonard Henry in a single year. And Art had 12 coming into the ball game. They'll take it to the left side, turn the corner, and be pushed out of bounds by Cola.
Twice, very good pursuit by the Houston defense, spreading it out, getting it to the outside, and not letting Art Brown get out on the edge, because that's where he hurts you.
Second down and 12. Neither team's burned a timeout here in this first half. They both have all 3 of their timeouts left.
You see Art Brown trying to get out past the tackles. Houston doing a good job of pursuit and stretching the field.
Third down and long. Troth will keep it on the ground to Art Brown again. Art will be hit and dropped just short of the 30. He's going to be about a half yard, it looks like, short of the first down. It's going to bring up fourth down and a timeout called by Houston.
Yeah, Houston's going to want to try and get this ball back and score one more time before they go into the locker room, because you got to remember, East Carolina, if they punt here, they're punting into the wind. There's a good opportunity for Houston to get some good field position and put more points on the board going into the locker room.
So a good timeout called by Dana Dimmel, the student in this matchup of coaches. The teacher, Steve Logan, Coach Dana Dimmel at Hutchinson Junior College. Dimmel came out of Columbus, Ohio as a high school player and went to Hutchinson. And then finished up at Kansas State. And he's one of these guys you're seeing a lot more of now, disciples of Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Bill Snyder has done one of the all-time incredible jobs at KSU in turning around that program and making them a national power. And you're seeing a lot of his proteges now coming out and getting head jobs. Dana Dimmel is one of them, and also Jim Levitt, the young man at South Florida that we saw a couple of weeks ago, is also a Bill Snyder protege. So he's starting to get a lot of coaches into Division I coaching at the head coaching level, and they're doing a good job at their respective schools. Ball is at the 30-yard line, and the Pirates on fourth down, going to go for it here.
Surprised. Maybe they're going to try and draw off the defense.
And then it looks like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Long count by Troth.
Yeah, they'll take a timeout here.
Cougars aren't going to jump, I don't believe. And Troth will walk away from center. It was worth a try.
Yeah, it was worth a try. Like you said, they still had three timeouts in the first half, and, you know, why not try it?
So Houston didn't jump, and now here comes Jared Preston in to punt the ball away for the Pirates. Have a long halftime today because it is Hall of Fame Day at the University of Houston, coming up with ceremonies on the field.
You know, Jeff, that does still cost them 5 yards on the penalty, and when you're kicking into the wind, that 5 yards could be a lot.
Preston will kick it. Low kick away from Kikoa Bell, going out of bounds at the 38 yard line. So now bad field position to start this drive for Houston, Billy, and they still have plenty of time. 1:12 to go in the half. They still have 2 timeouts remaining, and they've got time to move the ball right down the field. We've seen they have quick strike capability.
Well, the last drive, one play took 13 seconds to go 60 yards. So this offense can definitely get it done, and we've seen the big explosion plays twice. We've seen Joffrey Reynolds reel off a 71-yard touchdown and the big 60-yard strike this last time out. So Houston has the capability of putting another touchdown on the board here. So the defense has to step up.
That's the 38-yard line. First down and 10 now coming up for the Houston Cougars. Nick Eddy's gone all the way at quarterback, and they will keep it on the ground a couple of yards to the 40-yard line. And they'll call another timeout, so they're going to be serious here about trying to put some points on the board before halftime stops the clock. With just under a minute to go in the first half. Nick Eddy's a lot like Paul Troth, Billy. He's not the most mobile guy out there, but he throws a nice ball. I've been impressed with him. He's a big, strong kid, throws the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he does, and he almost kind of reminds you of that, here we are 7, 8 games into the season. It's time to show up.
Third down and 8. Eddy, look at the time he's got. He throws, and it's almost picked off at the 49-yard line. Travis Heath almost picked it off. We got a flag down as well.
Yeah, it might be a chop block. Yep. The chop block by the Houston offensive line. That's a big penalty.
I guess Coach Grove and Wake Forest come under a little fire for some chop blocking.
Yeah,
yeah,
he certainly has. You know, that's something that, you know, I don't think that should be tolerated. Those are things that cause injury. You know, and I think the college football world, and especially in the NFL and things like that, these officials are really trying to keep that down, the chop block.
Coach Bunning over in North Carolina not too happy with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons after their bowl game. But I'll tell you what, Grove has turned it around at Wake Forest.
Certainly has.
He's done a terrific job, and they go on the road, go to a Big Ten team, play Purdue up there in West Lafayette and get a win. Blew out North Carolina. They're having a good year. Terrance Copper's back deep on 4th down and 9. Houston will have to punt the football away, and here's McClary in again to punt it. Angling again to the sideline, and Copper will let it roll out of bounds, and the Pirates will have the football with 40 seconds to go.
The clock is still running.
Yeah, why is that?
The clock needs to stop. They're going to have to put some time back on that clock because a good, I think, 5 or 6 seconds ran off that when the ball was already out of bounds.
Pirates have all 3 timeouts on the board.
Yeah, that should be 2. They took the 1 timeout on the punt or the 4th down attempt where they ended up punting and taking the penalty. So showing on the board that the Pirates have 3 timeouts, but indeed they should have 2, and they should have more time on the clock.
Looks like they're going to keep it, though, right where it is.
Yeah.
You're right. The ball sailed out of bounds, and the clock just kept rolling. Pirates always seem to have...
like they're going to sit on it here.
Yeah, they always seem to have timeouts on the board at halftime.
Yeah.
Every game this year, you look up, and they have 2 or 3 timeouts on the board at halftime. Troth's just going to take a knee. And they're going to just be spectators here watching the big board at the 20-yard line. Houston comes out, Billy, with a football to start the first play, and it's almost exactly the same play to start the ball game with Reynolds going 5 yards just like he did to start the game.
Yep, right up the gut. Just, try to blow the guys off the ball and, just, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Isn't that the old saying?
And I have a feeling Dana Dimmel's not going to try and fix it here in the second half.
No, I'm sure he went in at halftime and said, hey, let's keep running the ball. Keep running the ball and we'll be all right.
5 yards on first down for Joffrey Reynolds. And they'll keep it on the ground again, and he's got it again. This time the Pirates do a much better job. They get him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll set up 3rd down and 5. There's Joe Warren Blair, and he's helping up Travis Heath. Travis played a good ball game today.
He certainly has, and on that play, 7 men in the box. They were committed to stopping the run right there. They stuffed it up the middle and made sure that Joffrey Reynolds had nowhere to go.
3rd down and 5 coming up. Big night here in Houston tonight at the Houston Rockets game. They are going to honor one of the all-time greats, Hakeem Olajuwon, today in Houston. Of course, he played right here at the University of Houston. Right on the left side.
5 slam-a-jammer.
Yep. Incomplete. 4th and 5 coming up. Boy, they had great teams, didn't they, Bill, back in the 80s? Clyde the Glide, and Team Elijah.
You know, I noticed coming in to the stadium, there is a Drexler's barbecue place joint coming up down the road they're building, yeah, they love Clyde Drexler around here.
Well, of course, Clyde was the basketball coach at the University of Houston and served in that role for a couple of years. Ray McCallum now is the head coach at Houston. There's the punt by McClary. Caught on the run, and Terrance Copper pushed right into the Pirate bench. Everybody's okay over there. McClary, the big, tall punter for Houston at 6'6", booms that one for 33 yards, and a 6-yard return by Terrance Copper, who is averaging 14.5 yards per return. That's 17th best in the nation. Terrance is having a really good year returning punts.
What I like about Terrance Copper is he's not afraid. That one there, he could have well let go, and that one, you know, he took the hit, and he's a guy that's not afraid. That's what you got to have back there. As a punt returner and as a kick returner, you got to have guys that are fearless. We saw that a couple years ago with Keith Stokes. Man, that guy would catch a punt in traffic at the drop of a hat and take a pounding hit and bounce right back up, and that's what we're starting to see from Terrance Copper.
Keith had a really good year in the Canadian Football League this past year. Most exciting player I've seen at East Carolina in the last 15 years. Now let's see if the Pirates can create some excitement of their own. They fake the reverse, keeping the football. Art Brown, he's got some daylight. To the 35, to the 30, to the 25, still on his feet. They can't get him down. He finally is pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. 31 yards on the run by Art Brown, faking the reverse. Art kept the football, came to this sideline, picked up 31 yards.
You know, what happened is we saw that reverse on the first offensive play in the first half from East Carolina, where Art Brown actually gave it to Richard Austin, and they got a big play on the right side. So, of course, Houston tried to sniff it out and said, hey, we've seen this before, but a great job by Art Brown faking it, pulling it in, and look at the end of the play right here, bullying his way for another 4 or 5 yards.
So let's see if the Pirates can stick one into the end zone starting the second half. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Art Brown again to the 19-yard line. He got a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. The Pirates this year in the red zone, 83.3% coming into the ball game. East Carolina had converted 20 out of 24 times in the red zone, 17 touchdowns and 3 field goals coming into play today. They're at the 19-yard line. It's 2nd down and 9 coming up. Pirates very much in this one as a very intense. Steve Logan looks on from the sideline. Touchdown here, and the Pirates will get some momentum here in this second half. Troth's going to fire to the right side. It is caught by Terrance Copper, has a block, gets to the outside, and Terrance takes the ball down to the 11-yard line.
Great job by Richard Austin there, giving the little block, and that's just a wide receiver screen right there, and you'll see it on the replay as a good block here on the outside. Little swing pass on the wide receiver screen, and look in front of him. Richard Austin, a little bit of a block right there, springs him enough to get that extra 3 or 4 yards.
And Terrance Copper was recruited out of Washington High School. The comparisons were to Troy Smith, the outstanding receiver that East Carolina had for many years. It's taken Terrance a couple of years to kind of get his feet on the ground, but now as a junior, he's becoming a very productive member of the Pirate receiving corps, and he just continues to get better and better every week.
And Jeff, can you remember the last time he dropped the ball? Because I certainly can't.
No.
I don't remember this year if he's ever dropped the ball.
I don't think he has.
He's very sure-handed.
Very sure-handed. As is Richard Horrigan, of course. Huffman coming off the field for the Houston Cougars. That's one of the big fellas up front, Ryan Huffman. He's 6'6", 260, a junior out of Orlando, and Butler Community College plays a defensive end for him, and it looks like he's going to have to come over for a little attention. Handoff in the backfield, going down right away. Big time hit made by the Cougars that time. They were coming. Damian West. There he is, the middle linebacker. He started his career at Texas A&M. Started with the Aggies, transferred to Houston. He made a big-time hit here.
Yeah, that was just a great individual effort right there. And what it was is it was a trap play going to the left-hand side. The guard for East Carolina pulling, and he just shot right on the right-hand side, came in uncontested.
Here's Kevin Miller. If he hits this one, he will be the all-time leader in points scored at East Carolina. There is the kick up, and the kick is good. Kevin Miller gets the field goal. He's got 5 points today. 5 of the 17. He needed 5. He has had a couple of extra points, and now the field goal. Pirates get 3 more on the board. They trail Houston. He has had. Billy?
Yeah, you won't find a nicer guy either. You know, I talked to Kevin Miller earlier this week, and I asked him about that. I said, you only need 5 points, and you become the all-time scoring leader at East Carolina University. And he kind of smirked a little bit, and he goes, yeah, you know, I don't want to think about that. I want to win. And he goes, but you know what? If I do get the record, he goes, maybe sometime down the line I can look back and say, you know, how great it was. Then he said, but you know what? I may have to go ahead and savor it because the way Art Brown's running, he may pass me before it's all said and done this season.
Good comment. They give it to Rashawn Pope on the kickoff return, and he takes it back to the 22-yard line, and Houston will have it first and 10 at its own 22. Krishawn Gilliam downfield made the tackle for East Carolina. So now, again, it's up to the Pirate defense. Houston leads 24-17, 11:40 to go in the third quarter, and the Houston offense will come out onto the field.
You know, Jeff, a lot of hometown folks from Virginia Beach, from Kevin Miller's hometown, get to watch the game today. We're on in the Tidewater area, so I know a lot of folks up there really pleased to see Kevin doing well.
Handoff, Joffrey Reynolds, big hole. And Reynolds rips off about 17 yards on first down.
That'll hurt you, you know. You can't say it enough. You can't let that happen because Joffrey Reynolds will just kill you if you let him. He goes straight off tackle, and a wide open hole. We got another injury. Here it looks like, it looks like Jawarren Blair's got a helmet problem down there, and maybe that's why the hole was so big. You know, whenever you don't, that's right. Whenever you don't have the big guy Jawarren Blair trying to plug up those holes.
Joffrey Reynolds having a career day. There goes Jay Blair off. It looks like he's okay. 152 yards for Joffrey Reynolds on 21 carries.
Wow, and he is not done.
So he's averaging about 7.5 yards a pop. Had the 72-yarder for the touchdown to start the ball game. And here he comes again. This time the Pirates do a better job, but even when they do a good job running, Billy, he's getting about 5 yards a pop.
Yeah, because what's so impressive about this young man is he's got very shifty feet. He can stop on a dime, but he's also got that explosive power in him, too. So he's a very good mix of he's a very versatile runner. He's got the power, he's got the speed, and he's also got the moves.
He's played a lot of football here. He's second all-time in the history of Houston as far as rushing attempts are concerned. So he's toted the leather a lot. Now in his senior year, he's out of East Texas. A lot of great skilled kids come out of East Texas. He's out of Tyler. And he's got it again. Across the 50. He's down to about the 46-yard line. Crosses into Pirate territory and picks up the first down.
Jeff, did you see how Joffrey Reynolds just bounced it outside? He went straight up the gut, saw there was nothing there, and he just bounced it outside, showed his speed. Look at it right here. Watch. Stops, pops out to the outside, and just outruns the defensive lineman and picks up the first down.
His best day this year, 197 yards against Army. At the 46-yard line. First down and 10 for the Cougars. For about 3 more.
Yeah, Joffrey Reynolds on the sideline getting a little breather there, so Evans coming back in, and you know that's turning out to be a pretty good 1-2 combination for Houston in the absence of Chris Robertson, who was getting a lot of playing time with Joffrey Reynolds in the backfield before his season-ending injury. And look at the numbers on Joffrey Reynolds: 23 rushes, 167 yards, and your math's pretty good there, Jeff. 7.2 yards a carry.
Well, I've got a good stat man alongside. Ball is at the 42-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Evans.
Yeah, this one may come back, though. We got a flag down there. I think we got a hold on this one.
And it looks like it will come back. You mentioned Chris Robertson, Billy, and he was their number 2 rusher coming into the game. He's hurt. He's not playing today. He transferred in from Texas. He was a Longhorn. So this is kind of a real hodgepodge of personnel for the Cougars. As see the flag being thrown there. They've got guys who started, quite honestly, at a little higher level. They've got a transfer from Texas, one from Texas A&M, then a lot of junior college guys, and Dana Dimmel's just kind of getting a few guys here, a few guys there, mixing them in with some high school guys and trying to build a program here.
Well, you can do that in the state of Texas. As big of a football state as the state of Texas is. And, of course, you know, just in sheer size, you have so many athletes to pick from in the state of Texas. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, University of Texas, and all those schools, they can't take all the athletes, so some of them have to come to schools like Houston. And, you know, you're seeing some of these outstanding athletes here on the field today.
Well, this has not been anything fancy on this drive for the Cougars. They're just lining it up and running the ball, and the question is, are the Pirates going to be able to stop them here? The ball is at the 30-yard line. 24-17. You see the score. The Cougars lead. And again, they keep it on the ground. Reynolds again, bangs for about 3.
Yep, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Woody Hayes would have loved it.
Sure would have. Kind of reminds you of the old Nebraska team, too, that would just line up and just say, hey, we're going to run. You got to stop us. And that's what Houston's doing. They're just lining up and run. Every so often you'll see a play-action pass here or there and maybe a run out of or a delayed draw out of a shotgun. But for the most part, they're just lining up one back set. Here you see the shotgun here by Nick Eddy. And tell you what, they're just taking it to the Pirate defense.
Big play, though, on 3rd down and 4. A little high on the snap. They'll give it to Reynolds, and he's horse-collared. Great tackle made by the Pirates on a 3rd and 4 play.
Very key in this part of the field, too, where Houston was getting close to getting into field goal range, and that may have taken them out of field goal range, because you got to remember, you're looking at a field goal attempt here if they go for it of about 44 yards, and that's into a stiff wind, so that's a big key play. You might see a 4th down play here.
How about that play by Demaine Duckett?
Yeah.
Big number 99 stepping up, making a big play. 4th down and 4. Houston will go for it. Big play. 4th and 4 at the 27-yard line of the Pirates. And Eddie will come out of the shotgun and look over the middle. It's caught at the 20, inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. That was a great play call. They've not thrown to the tight end, Billy, all day long. He just got in that little seam. Jonathan Pritchard, great play call, and they get the first down.
Yeah, you know, Jonathan Pritchard, he's one of those guys that over the last 2 seasons hasn't seen a whole lot of playing time due to injuries, but they like to throw occasionally to the tight end. And, you know, when you run, and then you take that tight end and shed off a block and then get in and sit down in that little zone, you can make things happen. That was a great call on 4th down by
No question. 1st down and 10 at the Pirates' 14-yard line. Only the 5th catch of the season by Pritchard. He was used mostly as a blocker and not a receiver. Reynolds drives inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Joffrey Reynolds is going to sleep very well tonight, Billy. There's no question about that. He's going to be a tired young man.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of nights he sleeps very well. And this is what we can officially call Joffrey Reynolds territory. You're inside the 10-yard line, and this is where this guy can really hurt you, because he can pound on you. That big offensive line can lean on you. And, you know, I said it before, when you're down in this area, just keep giving it to old number 1.
You can see what old number 1's done. 207 yards. Most of that is from Joffrey Reynolds today. On the ground, the Pirates giving up 200 yards on the average. Here's Eddie. He's going to throw the ball into the end zone to Brian Robinson, and it's overthrown.
A little different look there. He set up in the I formation, and then they broke into a shotgun formation, trying to surprise the East Carolina defense. Good job there by the East Carolina defense to stay with the pass coverage. And Nick Eddy, that was a case of him just throwing that ball away. He had everybody absolutely covered.
Joffrey Reynolds, we talked, Billy, in the open about him getting the ball 30 or 35 times. 27 carries, 176 yards.
He'll probably get it 40 times.
He probably will. 3rd down and 5. Another big play call here for Houston on 3rd and 5. They give it to Reynolds. He broke a tackle. He's going to get to the outside. Can he beat him to the corner? He does. To the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Houston.
Yep, broken tackle right there, and Krishawn Gilliam is just beside himself. Krishawn Gilliam had him in the backfield, but Joffrey Reynolds showing that elusiveness, that escapability, and the quickness to get to the outside edge. And once he gets on the outside, hey, it's all pay dirt from there.
9 more yards, 185 yards on 28 carries, 78 yards on this drive, 11 plays, 6:02 off the clock. And that was a ball-controlled drive, Billy. They were just pounding it and pounding it. And here's Bell now in for the extra point. The Pirates got great penetration that time, too. I thought they were going to get Reynolds, or at least maybe string it out enough to have enough time for help to the sideline, but he's so quick he just turned the corner and took the ball right on into the end zone.
Yeah, Krishawn Gilliam had an arm on him, but he's so strong, he just got away.
So Houston, with a touchdown on the board, they're back to a 14-point lead again. Cougars 31, Pirates 17. We're coming back with more in the third quarter on Jeffrey Reynolds Day. Not a whole lot of folks at Houston today, but the ones who are here are enjoying, as you can see, the Houston Cougars with the lead. This campus just a few miles from downtown Houston. As the Cougars, 12 plays, 78 yards, 602 consumed. Kind of out here in the suburbs of Houston, Texas. And Joffrey Reynolds doesn't care whether he plays in the suburbs or downtown. He gets the job done every which way, and that's what he's been able to do here in this game this afternoon at John O'Quinn Field. Bell will pop it up. And it is caught on the run by Eddie Rios at the 35-yard line. And the Pirates will have it there to start this particular drive. They did not want to kick the ball deep to DeMarcus Fox, and Pirates will end up with very good field position to start this drive. And now let's see if the Pirates can answer. 31-17. Still a lot of time to go in this one. 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Pirate is here trying to get the East Carolina fans who are here, maybe a couple hundred of them or so, at Robertson Stadium today behind this ball club. At the 35, Paul Troth will keep it on the ground. Ball closes quickly. Good pursuit that time by the Houston defense on Marvin Towns after a gain of a yard. Brings up second down and 9. Marvin's getting a little more action today, Billy, than he has in past games. Coach Logan getting him in there to carry the ball a little bit more than what he has been.
And we're seeing him in the second half. There were a few games early on in the season where we would see Marvin Towns in the first half. He would cramp up by halftime, and we wouldn't see him out for any action in the second half. The last 2 games we have, and that's because of that stationary bike on the sideline for Marvin. It's a weird thing, you know, just cramping up there. That's because he's so lean and muscular that, you know, for whatever reason, that causes him to cramp up.
Marvin with 7 receptions, or 7 carries, I should say, and 19 yards. The other thing that's helped Marvin is a couple of bananas. He's been eating bananas at halftime, and they think that has also helped him. So whatever it takes to keep number 25 out there on the field, the Pirates will take, because he's so explosive. He's still kind of a young pup.
Yeah, he is.
He still needs to develop a little bit physically, but he's got that great burst, and he's got that great speed. He's going to be a fine player.
He certainly is, and keep pumping the potassium and keeping him on the bike, and we'll be all right.
Third down and 9. Troth on third down. Here comes the pressure. He got away and then stumbles forward, and he's going down at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to get away and make something happen. It was a great move, and I think he may have been surprised himself. He didn't get his feet up under him, but a great move initially here. Watch, nothing open. He tries to roll out, and great job right there of turning, but like you said, he just stumbled forward, and Pirates have to punt now.
Big number 92, Adrian Lee, got penetration. Another JC player out of Kilgore Junior College in Longview, Texas. Got a hand on Paul, and just enough to spin him down, and now here's Paxton in now to punt it away.
Wow, gets a good one off.
With that wind at his back, and Kikoa Bell catches it, drops it, picks it up, looks up, and sees Deshaun Gilliam tackling by an ankle. And Houston will come out offensively one more time. There's a look at Lorenzo Pickett. See big number 47. He's a true freshman out of Fayetteville. And Lorenzo really figures into the Pirate plans in the future as a linebacker, getting his feet wet as a freshman playing here today for the Pirates. So East Carolina again with the defense on the field. They've been on the field a lot here in the second half. Let's see if they can stop Joffrey Reynolds. They haven't all day. We're coming back right after this.
It was about a year ago that I had my bike accident, and I wasn't wearing a helmet. If it weren't for my local hospital, I might not even be here. They airlifted me to Pitt County Memorial Hospital for emergency surgery and transferred life-saving information about me before I even arrived. Through using telehome care, I was able to continue my recovery that I started at the rehab center from my own home. Amazing.
University Health System of Eastern Carolina. On Veterans Day, join WITN 7 for an exclusive interview with one local veteran. Go back
That weekend with the football game against TCU and the basketball game against Ole Miss on the next day. Reynolds is on the bench trying to catch his breath. And so this series begins with Anthony Evans running the football, tackled by Hosea James. Pirates will be home in 2 weeks against the Horned Frogs of TCU, the best team right now in Conference USA. So come make it a Pirate weekend with Pirate football on Saturday at 2 against the Horned Frogs, and then Pirate basketball on Sunday at 2 o'clock against Ole Miss, an SEC opponent coming in to take on Bill Harrian's Pirates and Hoops. It's a big Pirate weekend, football, basketball, doubleheader, and you can get a ticket for both for $30. You can call the East Carolina University ticket office for more information at 1-800-DIAL-ECU. So make it a weekend in Greenville in a couple of weeks for Pirate football, Pirate basketball on Saturday and Sunday. Anthony Evans takes it for about 3 yards.
You know, Jeff, the Pirate defense has to step up here. There's just no question about it. They cannot afford to let Houston have one of those long, sustained drives. The last drive, Houston went 6 minutes in that drive. East Carolina's defense cannot be on the field another 6 minutes here and allow more points on the board, or this game's over.
3rd down and 5. The backs are against the wall here late in the 3rd quarter. Eddie stepping up, going to throw the football. And it's caught. Nice catch made again by Brian Robinson, who loves to play against East Carolina. There's that big, tall, wide receiver out of Daytona Beach, Florida, all-Conference USA performer in 2000. In the year 2000, this kid 2 years ago caught 80 passes. Didn't have that kind of a year last year. Boy, you love those guys, Billy, who look like this. 6'4", 210,
Yeah.
big, tall, lean, can run like a deer, and this kid's a good receiver.
They certainly are. That's what it's coming to. It's the big receivers, the big physical guys that after the catch, they can make something happen.
Time it goes to Evans, and he's tripped up. Good play made in the backfield. Joarren Blair. Joarren's played well today. Stepped up as a senior this year and playing on the defensive line with Demaine Duckett and Ronnie Pugh's another senior playing up front for East Carolina. Hosea James has really been playing well for the Pirates. It's just amazing Hosea can even walk. He has had 8 knee surgeries, which is incredible.
Yeah, and when we saw him go down in that Louisville game, it didn't look good. It really didn't look good. We talked to him on this past Monday, and he said he thought the same thing. He said, "Oh my goodness, not again." But luckily, it was just a little pull in that Louisville game, and Jose is back in the ball game.
Ball is caught. That ball looked like it was going to get away from Tyson.
Yeah.
But he catches the ball, and then it kind of pops loose, and then he gets the ball right back, shows good hands.
And it's 1st down.
And John Tyson makes his 10th catch of the season. He's like a third-team guy. But again, Billy, I mean, Eddie, he's just sprinting out. He's staying in the pocket. He's looking left. He's looking right. And when you give a guy this kind of time, he's going to find receivers.
That's right. And there was a little play action there. He fakes the handoff to Joffrey Reynolds, rolled out to his right, and he had plenty of time behind that offensive line. And he's just playing a solid ball game.
At the 44-yard line, there's a tackle made. Great hit made by Ike Modi. And if he doesn't make that tackle, Reynolds is off to the races again, Billy.
Yeah, he certainly is, because there was a hole open on the right-hand side, and there was nothing but green real estate for about 50 or 60 more yards in front of Joffrey Reynolds. So a good job by Ike Modi there to come up with a big tackle.
The Pirates are really looking forward to having him on the field. Now, he got hurt as well early on in the year. He missed about 6 weeks or so, but he's back playing now. And the Pirates are really high on this young man. They think he's going to be a great edge rusher coming off the edge. I'll hand it off to Reynolds, and he gets around the corner again and drives forward inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Modi is out of Durham, and Ike, kind of like a lot of these Pirate players, a little bit of a young pup. He's a freshman, redshirt freshman, but he is going to continue to get bigger and stronger and more experienced and really be a good defensive player for East Carolina.
Yeah, what helped on that play right there, you saw the Houston offensive lineman, and how about big number 71, Roy Swan, 6'2", 335-pound freshman on the offensive line, making some things happen.
Here's Reynolds, bucks it straight ahead inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line, about 5 more for Joffrey Reynolds. Some of these offensive linemen, Billy, for Houston really aren't that tall. A lot of them, as you mentioned, like Swan's 6'2", but My goodness, he weighs, as you said, 335. And they've got some guys are like 6'2" or so and well over 300 pounds. Well,
So obviously, it seems like they found their solution with that stationary bike. So far, so good with Marvin Towns. Back to you guys.
we start the fourth quarter at the 40-yard line, and Houston in control of the football. They'll keep it on the ground, and here comes Joffrey. For about 14 yards, he was really popped hard by Jerome Stewart, but unfortunately, it came 14 yards past the line.
Yeah, too little, too late. I mean, you like to see that aggressive style by your defensive players, but you want to see that at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage, not after the guys reeled off 15 yards. Look at that, right off of right tackle and into the secondary. Jerome Stewart with a great hit there, but Joffrey Reynolds getting the best down into the 25-yard line for Houston.
Houston knocking on the door again as they just continue to run the ball down the throat of the Pirates. 218 yards on 34 carries for Joffrey Reynolds. And this time the Pirates do a much better job against the run. One of the best jobs they've done this year. And a little extracurricular activity going on there. I think maybe the Pirates get a little frustrated here. They've seen an awful lot of number one today.
They certainly have. They don't want to see number one anymore. They're tired of seeing him. Joffrey Reynolds getting a huge round of applause by the very sparse crowd here as he walks off and gets a blow on the sideline. And a career day for Joffrey Reynolds. I was looking up his numbers, and this is his best rushing performance of his career.
Seems like a lot of guys have their career days against the Pirates.
Avon Coburn earlier this year for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and that guy, I'll tell you what, he's going to be a force at the next level. Avon Coburn, he had an outstanding rushing performance against East Carolina earlier this year, and today it's Joffrey Reynolds.
Anthony Evans tackled. There's Hosea James making a big play, number 93. He's really been playing well. Hosea leads the Pirates with tackles behind the line of scrimmage. With 12 coming into the ball game. There's a look at Hosea James. Boy, you have a lot of respect for that young man with all the knee surgeries that he's come off of. And he's a kid that plays with a lot of enthusiasm, emotion, intensity, and that's what you like to see out of your defense. Eddie, little touch pass over the middle, and he overthrows the intended receiver, and we've got a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think that may be a hold that was right. That was pretty early in the play. We'll have to see. And I know Eddie took a shot at the end. Yeah, that's a hold.
Eddie just kind of floated that one out there. I'll tell you, Billy, who does a great job putting touch on the ball is the kid at Cincinnati, Gino Gaduli.
Yeah.
Watching him against Louisville the other night, he puts great touch on the ball. He's got pinpoint accuracy. And he's another kid that's kind of skinny, and he's just a young pup. But he's going to continue to fill out and really be a terrific quarterback. He's already very good, and he's just going to continue to get better.
You know what I like about him? You mentioned he's a skinny guy, little kid kind of, but he's tough. He's really tough. When we went down there, when East Carolina went down there to play Cincinnati a few years back, I remember that Gino Gaduli actually hurt his shoulder in that game and came back and had a wonderful game. And he is a tough kid, and he's going to make a lot of noise in this conference.
Eddie's made some noise today.
Yeah.
The junior college quarterback from California, big kid, runs off the field on a 4th down and 14. And here is Dustin Bell in for the field goal attempt. It will be a 46-yarder for Dustin Bell. And there is the ball up. The kick is up, and it's good. We've got a flag down as well, a couple flags down. Let's see what they're all about.
Well, actually, Jeff, they said the field goal wasn't good.
They did, didn't they? They said it went wide left. It looked from here like it went through.
Yeah. It's going to be an offense, offsides on the defense anyway, so it'll be a little closer now, and that's a big call because it looked like Dustin Bell may have pulled that one wide right.
His longest has been 44 this year. He's 9 out of 10 on the season. And he missed from 50. That's been his only miss, so he's very capable of hitting him.
Replay 4th down.
Take another look here.
Wow, and it is
Boy,
just
really
barely
close.
wide
By
right.
inches.
Yeah, and from our angle up here over the press box, you couldn't tell how close that was until the replay. That was very close.
So they'll move it in another 5 yards, and it will go from a 46 to a 41-yard attempt. Bell is in again. He's a left footer, as you can see. This one is up, and this one is good. So it's been one of those kind of years, folks. The Pirates get the penalty, and it costs them yards and cost them 3 points because the miss from Bell from 46, the penalty, and he splits the upright from 41. Penalty cost them 3. So the Cougars have doubled the score. Houston 34, East Carolina 17. We're coming back. 6 minutes and 2 seconds right on the second for Houston the last 2 times they've had the ball.
That's right, and I said it before that last drive. They could not afford another 6-minute drive. What happened? 6 minutes, 2 seconds, and 3 points on the board.
Desmond Robinson now in the quarterback. He throws, and it's caught by Tutu Moy. Tutu catches the ball, gets away to the 42-yard line. So Desmond Robinson with a 22-yard touchdown reception to Tutu Moy. And the Pirates marching quickly here, first down and 10 after a 22-yard pickup.
Jeff, this is where East Carolina has been successful, is over the middle this afternoon. When they've come up with the big plays, the fourth down plays, a couple of plays to Terrance Copper over the middle, that one there to Tutu Moy over the middle, start exploiting it. And, hey, if the defense is going to give you it in the middle, take it.
Desmond Robinson throws and whistles one with a lot of mustard on it to the 50-yard line, went through the hands of Marcus White, incomplete. It'll bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, that one just a little bit too high for Marcus White, and like you said, he really zipped it in there.
You know, one guy we've not talked about a whole lot on the telecast today, Billy, for Houston in the secondary is Hannick Milligan.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet.
He's been real quiet, and he's the guy. I mean, he's, as you mentioned, he's the leading tackler on this team. He's the leading tackler in Conference USA. He's on the Jim Thorpe Award list and the Bronco Nagurski Trophy watch, but he's not going to tackle here in this ball game today. Robinson will air it out, coming up, and making the catch is Richie Austin at the 15-yard line. He came back and got the ball. Great catch as he had to really adjust his route. 42 yards from Desmond Robinson to Richie Austin, and the Pirates are in the red zone of Houston.
That's what happens when you throw into wind like that. It's an advantage to the receiver. The receiver knows the ball is coming. The defensive back doesn't. Richard Austin does a great job of adjusting. Watch him here stop and come back to the ball and make a great catch, and Richard Austin becoming that go-to guy for the Pirates.
That was Milligan that time. Art Brown getting around the corner. He's got open daylight. Cuts it inside. He's in. Touchdown, Pirates. East Carolina with the explosion play. We've got the late flag also coming in with a touchdown on the board for the Pirates. Art Brown takes it in. His second touchdown of the day, his 14th of the season. And East Carolina quickly striking with Desmond Robinson at quarterback, and they put 6 points on the board.
Oh, that's a big personal foul against the defense, too. That's going to come on the kickoff. So I tell you what, don't close the book yet on the Pirates. It's still 11:46 left in this ball game. Art Brown, watch on the replay when we get to see it.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense. Half is into the goal line. We have an untied down for the try.
Okay, so they're not going to have it on the kickoff. They're going to have it on the extra point attempt. Watch the replay here, though, Jeff. Great job by Art Brown. I thought he was stopped right there and wrapped up. Bounces outside and gets around the wall, and it's 6 points for the Pirates. Good job by Art Brown.
Kevin Miller is in now to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So the Pirates put 7 on the board, and they get themselves back in the ball game. So hang in there with us. Art Brown has scored 14 touchdowns this year, 2 today, 34-24. They're down 10, 11:46 to go, and we're coming right back.
He scored on the explosion play afterwards, and that's been the problem. Houston's actually settled into 2 6-minute drives late in this second half. That's really hurt the Pirates.
On the ground, it's picked up by one of the up men again for Houston, and going down is the ball carrier. And he's knocked down at the 33-yard line, and Houston will have the football. Actually, they'll mark it as 29, first down and 10 for the Cougars. But we talked about Milligan, the outstanding secondary performer for Houston. He's had double-digit tackles in 19 straight games. We sure haven't called his name out very much today. I have a feeling he's not going to keep that streak going unless he has a really good last 11 minutes. Nick Eddy, play action, stands tall in the pocket, throws it over the middle, it's incomplete.
Well, great defense there by the youngster, Jared Brogdon. No, Kelly Hardy. Kelly Hardy, yeah.
Well, Kelly's a senior out of Kinston.
Yeah.
Made a really, really good play, and Kelly's playing some really good football in his senior season for the Pirates. Twice this year he's been the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. Well, that's a great play.
That was absolutely great. And you know what? The right hand, he didn't get on the back of the receiver. That's where you get those defensive pass interference calls. What he did is he came over with the left hand, knocked the ball out of the way, but he didn't grab a jersey, and he didn't wrap that right hand around. That was an excellent play by Kelly Hardy.
2nd down and 10. Eddie standing back there, going it. Incomplete, and then almost picked off by Kelly Hardy on the carom, and he couldn't hang on. Goes incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 10 now.
Wow, Jeff, how huge would that have been for East Carolina? To come up, that's something that East Carolina hasn't been able to do this year, and this game so far is take the football away. No turnovers for the Pirates. They've given up the ball once, and look at this. Oh, just that one almost could have been intercepted.
Well, the Pirates now are minus 12 in turnover margin. That's 113th in the country, and Billy, you're right. They've not been able to take the ball away. They've only taken it away 8 times through 7 games, 4 fumbles and 4 interceptions. Eddie, what in the world is this? He just threw that thing straight up in the air.
He just threw that. He's frustrated with himself. He just threw that one up in the air, and
he was looking to set up the screen for a moment.
Yeah.
And then he just decided to air it out, dump it off, get rid of it. And so 3 downs and out, Billy, for this defense. So maybe the tide is turning here.
Absolutely huge. After 2 6-minute drives, the Pirate defense stepped up finally after scoring a touchdown, because we haven't seen that this game. They've scored a touchdown, and then they've been a little lax on defense. Here they come with a big 3 and out, and they've got a chance to do something here.
34-24, still enough time. Terrance Copper catches at the 20-yard line, and he's going down at the 23. Well, it's going to be interesting now. Who's going to come in at quarterback? Is it Troth, or is it going to be Desmond Robbins?
That is a very interesting question, and I'm eager to find that out. And it's Paul Troth.
Troth is back in. Desmond had the drive right down the field, 80 yards. They put it in the end zone on 4 plays. And Paul Troth is back in now for the Pirates with 11:05 to go. Houston 34, East Carolina 24. And there's the sophomore out of Davidson, North Carolina. And let's see if he can get the Pirates in the end zone here. At the 23, Troth is looking, throwing, and it is caught at the 30-yard line. It's kicked away. Ball is kicked away, and
wow.
Pirates are lucky that Terrance Copper got back on the football.
You are not kidding. A very, very fortunate bounce for the East Carolina Pirates. We've seen so many times that not bounce the way of the East Carolina Pirates. Look at all the time that Paul Troth has in the pocket. He swings it out, and Eddie Rios gets it stripped out. Yeah, and there's Johnny on the spot. Terrance Copper having a great day today.
Pirates get a break. Get the fumble recovery back, and here's Troth.
All the time in the world.
He's going to air it out. Got a man out there going up for the football. Jump ball situation, and Torey Morris can't come up with the ball. Flag down, too. He threw into double coverage, and the jump ball was on.
Yep.
And Torey
that's going to be defensive. Yeah, it's going to be defensive pass interference, definitely. You have to allow the receiver to adjust. You can't grab and hold, and it's definitely going to be on the defense here. Yep, there it is.
Pirates, folks, getting a little momentum here in the 4th quarter. They're continuing to fight and battle.
Yeah.
They've still got time. 10:36 to go, down 10 points.
Watch the replay here. Trying to come back to there. See the left hand right there. You can't. The crowd booing here, but they don't have the ability to see the replay that we got. The left hand of the defensive back. Watch it around Torey Morris. You just can't do it. That's going to draw a flag every time.
Flag against Roland Cola. So the Pirates have it 1st and 10 after the penalty at the 40-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. And it's Marvin Towns burst through there. And I'll tell you what, if Marvin breaks that tackle, he's off to the races.
Definitely. Great run right up the middle. The offensive line, I'm very impressed with the way the offensive line has been playing as of late. They've really given Paul Troth a lot of time, and they're starting to open up some holes for these running backs.
2nd down and 4, 6-yard pickup. Now Houston's defense looking a little bit tired.
Yeah.
Pirates beginning to get the momentum here. Troth has all day, throws. It's caught by Richie Austin. Inside the 30 to the 25, down to the 20-yard line. And another 1st down for the Pirates, and here comes East Carolina. In the red zone of Houston. 1st down for the Pirates at the 20-yard line, actually at the 19.
Great pass by Paul Troth. He keeps it low, and he keeps it, real tight spiral on it. He's getting all the time in the world back there to pass, and he's really making this defense pay.
Houston's dropping a lot of folks into coverage, and Troth getting a lot of time to throw. They're not wanting to give up the big play. Troth now looking to the right and throws it behind Tutu Moy. Incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, it looked like he may have had Edwin Rio streaking across the middle open. He didn't see him. He was trying to swing it out to Tutu Moy. But East Carolina's still in pretty good position here.
Well, that Pirates sideline has to be jacked up and excited now. They know they're right back in the game. They know they've still got a chance here. If they can put this one into the end zone, it's going to get real interesting in Houston, Texas.
Certainly is, because when it was 34-17 in the 4th quarter, you're thinking this one's pretty much put away, but the Pirates have really come back and looked strong.
Troth 11 out of 19 today, 200 yards. And he tried to dump that one over the middle, and I don't know who he was trying to throw it to. Incomplete, and Paul is holding his head.
He was trying to hit Torey Morris, and I don't know if his arm got hit or he's
disgusted with
his. Well, and he's talking to his offensive line there. I don't know if
3rd and 10 coming up. So a couple of misfires, and Paul needs to hit on this one on 3rd down and 10. Sending 4 receivers out. And a 5th coming out of the backfield, Marvin Towns. Troth again with all day. He's going to throw the football, and it's incomplete at the 12-yard line. It was intended for Torey Morris. So the Pirates get down into the red zone and misfire on 3 straight passes. And Kevin Miller's going to have to come in and kick the field goal here. So you got to give Houston some credit, Billy. They tightened up in the red zone.
They certainly did. 3 straight plays right there. They really disrupted the Pirate offense and got Paul Troth out of his rhythm. This is huge right here because a field goal made here cuts it to 7 points.
36-yarder for Kevin Miller coming up. It is up, and it is good. He's Mr. Automatic. Kevin Miller. Hold everything. There's a flag down. 41 and in. He is automatic. 24 straight. 57 yards, 6 plays, 155, and 3 points on the board. But let's see here. The flag is down. Miller takes a look at what the official's going to call.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We've got Houston players going at each other. That's not good. That is not good at all.
Yeah, I see that on the sideline.
Yeah.
And they're trying to...
They're actually
Adrian Lee.
Got Houston players going at each other, and that's... I'll tell you what, you know, it's one thing to have the other team take you out of a ball game. You see the momentum starting to swing, but you got to stay together as a team. This will absolutely kill you.
Adrian Lee looked like he was going after Ryan Huffman. I have no idea what that was all about. There's Huffman, 97, and there you see a couple other officials on the sideline trying to cool him down. Well, you don't see that every day. A couple of teammates getting into it during the heat of the battle. Let's go down to Amanda on the sideline. Amanda?
Well, we just saw that display of anger on the ECU sideline earlier. Kevin Miller, senior, was giving Paul Troth, a sophomore, kind of a pep talk, saying, don't put your head down. You're still in this game. It's going to be okay. So we see that senior leadership coming from Kevin Miller. That was earlier in the 4th quarter, and so far, Paul's had a better 4th quarter. But where you see that anger displayed on the Houston sideline, quite the opposite here on the ECU sideline. A lot of togetherness, a lot of teamwork on this sideline right here.
That's a good point, too, Jeff, because when you get down to crunch time and the teams that are playing together and that are upbeat and that are supporting each other, they can make things happen. This could be a big pivotal swing in this ball game. And as you can see, you got a Houston player walking off the field.
That's Huffman.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just telling him to shower up.
Yeah, hit the showers, pal. Yeah.
That's really strange.
So the field goal stands, and Coach Logan is still over there talking to the officials. So evidently, the penalty was against the Houston Cougars. So we've cut this ball game to 7 points. Plenty of time left, and we've talked about old Mo before, and it seems like momentum has definitely swung in the favor of Paul Troth and the East Carolina Pirates.
Well, Amanda talked about Kevin Miller pumping up Paul Troth, the senior, pumping up the sophomore, and oftentimes you don't see a kicker as one of your leaders, but Kevin Miller is a special kid. There he is. When you talk to Kevin Miller, Billy, I think you're talking to a guy about 35 years old. He's got that kind of maturity and wisdom, and he's such a class kid and an impressive young man. And as a kicker, he's one of the leaders on this football team. The guys on this team really look up to him, and he's sharing a light moment there with Coach Logan on the side.
He has a great relationship with Coach Logan. The only thing I don't like about Kevin Miller is that the fact that he's about to graduate, there's a very good possibility he could take my job. Because he
wants to be a broadcaster, I know.
Yeah, he wants to be in broadcasting, and he is wonderful at it. He's a great speaker. You know, on the media days, on the Mondays when we get to sit down and talk with the Pirate players and coaches about the upcoming game and things going on, you know, he's one of the guys we enjoy to talk to because he is, like you said, he's way beyond his years. He is so intelligent. You know, I always enjoy talking to Kevin Miller.
Well, he's got the Pirates right back in it, and he's had the record day today to become East Carolina's all-time leading scorer. 34-27. We've got a football game here with 9:10 to go in Houston.
Well, we're kicking off from...
kicking off after that penalty at the Houston 35-yard line.
Wow.
And the Pirates going to try and squib it here.
Well, they're setting up for the onside kick, and Jeff, this is smart because the ball has to go 10 yards, and if it goes 10 yards, it's still only on the 25-yard line, so you're risking nothing by going for the onside kick.
And the ball's loose at the 22-yard line. And Houston players say they have it, and they do. But the scramble was on. They had a chance at it.
Yeah. That's a great call because you lose nothing there, Jeff. They have the ball. Houston has the ball on their own 22-yard line. That's as good as kicking the ball deep anyway. When you're in that situation, it's only a win-win situation there.
Roland Cola managed to corral it. And Steve Logan in his familiar crouch on the sideline looks Logan should have been a catcher. He can stay in that position forever. You know?
My knees would be hurting.
But he's
for
very
days
flexible
after that. Now defense has to come up big here again.
Ball is at the 22-yard line. A little high on the shotgun snap, and they'll go back to their bread and butter, Joffrey Reynolds. Pulled down from behind by Josh Chisholm. Chisholm is another one of those redshirt freshman linebackers for the Pirates. Number 43 is out of Sumner, Florida. Getting a lot of experience this year. Pirates have used Chisholm, Richard Kuntz, Jamarcus Beal, and, of course, Chris Moore, who's injured. And hopefully will be back before the end of the year, playing 4 redshirt freshman linebackers this year. And the loss of Chris Moore really hurt the Pirates. He was leading East Carolina in tackles and had a couple of interceptions in the game earlier. Give it to Reynolds, and Reynolds over the right side behind Chris Wheeler, and Rufus Williams goes for the first down marker at the 32-yard line, and he has it.
Yeah, Chris Moore still leads this team in interceptions with 2.
Yep. That's been an Achilles heel this defense. They've not been able to come up with interceptions or fumble recoveries.
You know, and the ball has been on the turf a few times in the last few games for East Carolina. They just haven't had that fortuitous bounce to be able to get on it. So, I'll tell you what, a turnover here by the Pirate defense would be absolutely huge.
Nick Eddy's gone all the way at quarterback, the young man out of California, and he's just basically handed it off to Joffrey Reynolds. And Reynolds again off to the left side. But we've been impressed with Eddy, the Houston quarterback. He's a junior out of Portland, California. Was JC player out of American River Junior College in California. And when Barrick Neely, the starter, went down with an ACL tear against Texas, they inserted this young man. He's done a good job. He was good last time out against Memphis. He was 15 out of 23. And he's not real fancy, Billy, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Not fancy at all. He's just one of those guys that's going to, you know what? He doesn't hurt you by making the mistake. That's the type of quarterback he is.
Yeah. Today, he's not throwing an interception.
Right. He doesn't make the mistake.
There are flags down.
You know, whenever you've got the talent of a running back like a Joffrey Reynolds, as long as you have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, you can win a lot of football.
Another penalty on Houston. Tell you what, the Pirates have them on the ropes here a little bit. If they can just get a stop here and get that offense back on the field again.
Yeah.
Plenty of time left. 7-11 to go in the ball game, and both teams still have all of their timeouts on the board. There's Dana Dimel, the head coach at Houston, in his 3rd year. You can tell he was a big old lineman when he played.
Yeah. He put away a few steaks out there.
He's been out eating with his offensive line, I think. Ball at the 33-yard line. back to pass. Gonna throw, tipped, and dropped. Almost caught by Jonathan Pritchett, the tight end, and that would have been a tremendous catch by the big fella out of Friendswood, Texas.
Good job by the defensive back there, too. We talked about coming up with the big interception, and wow, that one tipped around a lot, and you know, that one could have went either way.
Little play action and gives Eddie a lot of time to throw the ball. And boy, it was almost picked off by Kelly Hardy. Man.
Just in and out of the hands, and you know, those are the ones Kelly will be thinking about in the sleep.
Yeah, got to make that catch. 3rd down and 10. So let's see what Houston will come up with now. A little audible at the line of scrimmage by Nick Eddy, the quarterback, on 3rd and 10. Going to fire to the right side. Got a man out there, catches the ball, got away from one, struggling, can't get to the 1st down marker at the 41-yard line. Kekoa Bell, who's been quiet today. Kekoa is the leading receiver for Houston with 24 catches coming into the ball game. Has not been a factor here today. His best game this year, he had 5 catches against Texas. Hart's done a good job on him, and it forces the 4th down.
Yeah, Travis Heath came up and made that tackle there, and if it wasn't for Travis Heath, then T. Bell's probably got the 1st down. As a result, though, of the Travis Heath play coming up from his safety position, Houston has to punt.
They're punting with the wind at the back, and here is McClarian to kick it away to Copper. A low kick. It's going to bounce in front of Terrance. He picks it up on the run at the 15, got a block at the 20, got some daylight, but then he's hauled down from behind at the 22. It looked like he was going to be able to turn that one, but he was hauled down from behind. Joffrey Reynolds grabbed him by the jersey, a 44-yard punt. Well, he's doing it at both ends, isn't he?
He certainly is. You know what? There's that old adage. You put your best athletes on the special teams a lot of times, and you know, of course, we've seen who one of the Cougars' best athletes is out here today, and he's on the special teams as well.
Well, the Pirates have got the ball back, and I'll tell you, folks, it's interesting if East Carolina can put this thing in the end
Call
zone.
now, 1-877-1-SOLUTION.
Houston 34, East Carolina 27. We have just over 5 minutes to go in the game, and the Pirates have the football. Little skirmish on the sideline, as you just saw a few minutes ago, between a couple of Cougar teammates. Amanda Ross has the story. Amanda?
Well, one of the guys involved in that scuffle, Ryan Huffman, was sent to the locker room. He went to the locker room, and then a few minutes later, one of the equipment guys came back with his uniform. He took off his uniform and kept on walking outside the stadium. The equipment guy said he was fired up, so we really don't know where he is right now. He's probably not even inside the stadium.
Wow.
Troth on play action will throw the football, and it is caught over the middle for a 17-yard pickup. As Paul right on the money again to Terrance Copper, and the Pirates move the sticks. It's 1st and 10, East Carolina at the 37-yard line.
You know, Jeff, I must say that I've seen, you know, from being involved in football for so long and watching a lot of games, I've seen guys get fired up, but I have to say that's the first time I've seen a guy take his uniform off in a Division I college football game and actually leave the stadium.
That's a new one on me, too. 1st down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Troth is pumping. Rolling right, stopping. He's going to go for broke down the sideline. He's got a man out there. We got a flag down as well. Eddie Rios was there, and he was battling with Victor Malone. The flag went down. Let's see who the guilty party is.
Yeah, it looks like they're saying it may be offensive pass interference. We'll have to check this one out.
Yep, that's the call. Yep. Rios and Victor Malone were really battling for that ball. The Pirates have really tried to pick on Victor Malone today, the 5'11", 175-pound senior corner. Coming back. Steve Logan trying to come up with big-time explosion play here to get the Pirates in the end zone.
Yeah, you notice, I thought for a while the wind had calmed down a bit here as the sun starts to go down, but it seems like it's starting to kick back up again.
Paul throwing that ball 50 yards downfield, was throwing it into a very stiff breeze.
Right into the wind.
Wind has not let up the entire day.
Not at all.
It has just continued to blow and blow with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Sure would like to have that wind at Paul's back, but he's throwing into the wind here in the 4th quarter. So the penalty on Rios. And it's 1st down and 25. The Pirates are backed up now at their own 22-yard line. So it's team that's not been penalized very much all year. In fact, the least penalized team in NCAA football. Another good day today with 4, but they've come at inopportune times.
Yeah, 2 of those 15-yard penalties.
1st and 25. Troth is going to throw. He'll throw it, and it's behind the receiver. Tried to get it to Richie Austin. Terrance Copper was also in the neighborhood, and it will bring up 2nd down and 25. Paul Troth, first year as a starter for the Pirates at the quarterback position. His father, Mike, played at East Carolina back in the early 70s. Actually played with our Pirate Sports Radio Network partner, Carl Lester Crumpler. Some of those great teams East Carolina had in the early 70s. 2nd down and 25. Troth to throw. Dumps it off over the middle. It is caught. Broken tackles. Here's Horrigan, breaks another one, and then he's caught from behind at the 31-yard line. So Richard does a good job picking up 9 yards, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and 16.
You got to love the scrappiness of Richard Horrigan, and good job by Paul Troth. You don't want to try and feel like you have to get the entire 25 yards on one play. Go across the middle, get the 10, maybe 12 yards that the defense allows you. Nice pass right over the middle to Richard Horrigan. Let him run after the catch and make something happen. But now you're setting up yourself in a big 3rd down situation here with 4:43 or 33 left in this ball game. You need to get something going.
3rd down and 16. Big play. Not too many folks here, but some noise at Robertson Stadium for the Houston defense. Troth looking. He's throwing. A man comes up and catches the ball at the 50-yard line into Cougar territory. A 1st down for East Carolina.
Absolutely
great catch
huge.
Made by Terrance Copper.
Absolutely huge. And who is it? Terrance Copper. We've been calling his name all afternoon. He is having one outstanding game. Terrance Copper coming up with big play after big play. Look at this. Rolling out to his left, a bullet. Great job by Paul Troth. Great catch by Terrance Copper, and the Pirates are still in business.
22 yards on the pass play, and Troth is really putting the ball on the money. Looking to throw again. He's going to sail it out there. Man out there catches the ball inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line. It's Torey Morris, and the Pirates have it. 1st and 10 at the Houston 12-yard line.
Torey Morris just runs right down the seam and is absolutely wide open in the offensive line. How much can you keep saying about this East Carolina offensive line? Look at all the time Paul Troth has. Torey Morris right down the seam, wide open. And he's hit right down at the 10-yard line. I tell you what, the Pirates are looking good on this drive.
38 yards on the pass play. 1st and 10 Pirates at the 11-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Going to the right side. Ball carrier snowed under and hit. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Art Brown.
Marcus White, I think he popped his shoulder out once again. That guy has just had such tough luck with his shoulder injuries. As you can see, that right shoulder has probably popped out of joint again. Marcus White will likely go over to the sideline and have that shoulder pop back into joint, and that is absolutely painful if you've ever had to go through that.
Mike Hanley from the sports medicine staff and Dr. Lassiter out taking a look at Marcus White, and we've seen this movie before.
Yeah. We saw it in the North Carolina game last year, too, where he actually popped that out and then came back in, went on the sideline, had it pop back into joint, and then went out and played the rest of the game. So he's a tough kid.
2nd down and 10 coming up. Troth, 15 out of 26, having a good day. 282 yards. So let's see what the Pirates can come up with here. Knocking on the door at the 11-yard line. They pitch it on the option to Art Brown. He cannot get the corner turned. At the 13, they lose a couple. Well, you really wonder. They tried to run the option going to the wide side of the field. It's not been effective for them, and they lose a couple. 3rd down coming up.
Watch Adrian Lee, 6'2", 246-pound senior. I mean, he just absolutely puts on the wheels and chases Art Brown out of bounds, and that's just absolutely great speed by a lineman.
3rd down and 12. Pirates on 3rd down today, 2 out of 11. They've been a lot better than that this year. They've been right at 40%. Troth looking, coming underneath. Ball is caught at the 10-yard line. It's Torey Morris battling for the end zone. He's down close, and they're going to mark him down, I believe, inside the 1-yard line. Torey Morris came open underneath and caught the football. Another good pass by Troth. And the Pirates are inside the 1.
Wow, look at this. Great job by Torey Morris there, staying on his feet. And you know what, Jeff? That's a first down because the first down yardage was at the 1-yard line, so you had to either get to the 1 or inside the 1 or for a touchdown. First and goal here. Keep giving the ball. Maybe Vonta Leach right here.
Vontae's in as a blocking back. Let's go get it to Art Brown. And Art Brown takes it in for his 3rd touchdown of the day, and the Pirates are only down by 1 point. Houston 34, East Carolina 33. 2:34 to go in the ball game, and what a comeback by the Pirates on the road. 78 yards, 8 plays, 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Art Brown scores his 3rd touchdown, and the Pirates have battled back.
Art Brown on the sidelines wanting to hear it from the Houston fans.
There's the extra point. It is up, and it is good by Kevin Miller, and the Pirates have battled and scrapped, and they've come back to tie the ball game. East Carolina 34, Houston 34, 2:39 to go.
And look at this. You got to love the fullback, Vonta Leach, giving him just that little extra push, and that's all Art Brown needs, going right behind the fullback and then cuts it back into the right-hand side up the middle. Touchdown, Art Brown. And, man, had you told me at the beginning of the 4th quarter that with 2:39 left in this game that we would be tied up at 34, I wouldn't have believed it. But this team, like you said, Jeff, has just been scrappy. They've come out, and they've decided they are not going to lose this ball game. And, man, it's just been a big turn of momentum here for the Pirates.
Art Brown now has 15 touchdowns. You've got to give them a lot of credit. They have continued to really battle back in this game. They could have folded their tents, but they didn't. They kept fighting and scrapping, and they've come back. In the passing game, Troth has really been on the money, and his receivers have really started to come open. And Paul has been doing a great job running the offense. And then Desmond Robinson had that good series too, Billy. He had that 4-play, 80-yard drive and put the ball in the end zone. And then Paul came back in, and he's been carving up the Cougars.
Yeah, they never missed a beat. That's great news.
So now it's up to the Pirate defense. Tied at 34. Ball is kicked around and fallen on back at the 19-yard line. Shermer had to fall on the ball, and it's back at the 19, and the Pirates are just carrying the fight to the Cougars here in this 4th quarter.
They certainly are, and Jeff, everything seems to be going the way for the Pirates. Early in the first half, we saw the penalties. We saw the punt that could have been down on the 1-yard line for the Pirates. As a result, it came out to the 20. Houston went on an 80-yard drive and scored after that, and it just didn't seem like things were going the way of the Pirates. Late in the second half, we saw the fumble by Eddie Rios that Terrance Copper fell on. We saw the penalty after the extra point. This here, I mean, it seems like everything's starting to go the way of the Pirates.
At the 19-yard line, Eddie will bring him out to the line of scrimmage, and we got flags down on the handoff. Both teams have all their timeouts on the board. The Pirates and the Cougars each have 3 timeouts. And another illegal procedure call. They've had a couple of those here in the second half.
5 snap. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's a big one. But you're inside your own 20-yard line. You can't afford to have those penalties. And this allows the defensive, guys in the defensive front to pin their ears back and come after them.
1st and 15. There's Dana Dimmel, 39-year-old head coach of the Houston Cougars in his 3rd year.
Got to wonder what's going through his mind. Team's up 34-17 and looks to be in command of this ball game, and now it's very much in question. Here comes Joffrey Reynolds.
Here comes Joffrey. And the ball is stripped loose. It's loose. And it looks like the Pirates have the football. They've stripped Reynolds, and they've come up with a football. East Carolina's got the ball. Kelly Hardy came up with a tackle, and the Pirates came up with a fumble recovery. Finally, as Travis Heath gets the ball after it was stripped by Kelly Hardy on the strip, and the Pirates come up with the ball on Reynolds, and they finally get Reynolds to cough one up. Watch Kelly.
Look at that. Great job by Kelly Hardy getting in there, stripping the ball. Travis Heath coming away with it. And I tell you what, like I just mentioned, all the bounces late in this game starting to go the way of the Pirates because Joffrey Reynolds just had an explosion play there, and he was all the way almost inside the 45-yard line of the East Carolina Pirates, and a fortuitous strip, a great strip there by Kelly Hardy. And tell you what, if the Pirates can take time off this clock and score, they can come out of here with a win.
42 yards on the run by Reynolds, and then he gets stripped. Pirates come back with the football. They look to run the ball. Art Brown for about a yard to the 44-yard line. That's it. Clock is moving on. 2:07, 2:06 to go. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. We're tied, East Carolina and Houston, 34-34. The Pirates have battled back. They were down 34-17. They've got a chance to win it, folks. Second down and 10. Troth looking to throw. He's pumping. Pumping again. He's going to run with the ball, and he's going to be crushed at about the 45-yard line. Boy, got tackled very awkwardly.
Yeah, he definitely did. And that's when you see a lot of ankle injuries and a lot of knee injuries there is when you get tackled, pulled down from behind, and those legs still stay under you. That one, it was great to see Paul Troth just pop up from that because, like you said, Jeff, those are the ones that you could see some bad injuries from.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Look at his legs.
Boy, he's going. Ball at the 45, third down and 9. This is a big, big play here. Third and 9. Pirates looking to pick it up. We've got a minute to go in the football game. Tied at 34. Cross the throw. Over the middle. Caught by Tutu Moy. Down to the 32-yard line. Tutu Moy wide open over the middle to the 32. Pirates have the first down.
50 seconds left, and got to get up on the line. Get up on the line of scrimmage. Got plenty of time here. Plenty of time to run plays. And watch Tutu Moy. We had talked about this earlier. East Carolina has been absolutely perfect down the middle of the field.
They really found something to explode in the Houston defense. Here's Troth looking. Tutu Moy is open again. Inside the 25, he's down to the 20, and now they're just not able to stop the Pirate passing game. This looks like the Pirate passing game of old with David Garrard and Marcus Crandall and Jeff Blake. Maybe it's finally maturing here today with Paul Troth at the 21-yard line. He's picking them apart right now.
He certainly is. This is the last rated secondary as far as pass efficiency goes in Conference USA, and I had asked Coach Logan if he thought about trying to exploit the secondary of the Houston Cougars. He said, we're just going to try and have a balanced attack, and whatever happens, happens, and it seems like Paul Troth has really gotten into a rhythm here.
Well, they're in field goal range for Kevin Miller as well to win it if they can't put it in the end zone. Here goes Art Brown off the left side. The hole closes quickly, and he's tackled down at the 20-yard line.
We'll call a timeout here.
This is a 37-yard attempt from this point on the field for Kevin Miller, and as we all know, he's been automatic from 41 and in.
East Carolina calls a timeout. Second down here, and I think you run one more play and try to run and get the ball in the middle of the field for Kevin Miller. Hopefully you can get something, maybe 6-7 yards, maybe even pick up the first down, but I think you have to run between the tackles, Jeff, and you have to at least give your kicker a chance to win this ball game.
Art Brown, 20 carries, 94 yards today. Boy, wouldn't it be something if Kevin Miller, on the day he becomes East Carolina's all-time leading scorer, nails the field goal in the last second to win the ball game?
And you'd love to see that by your senior as well, because we haven't seen many games that have come down to Kevin Miller kicking a field goal and winning it. We've seen other teams. We saw in the Cincinnati game a couple years ago where a game-ending field goal that fell short for Cincinnati that could have been the game winner, but we've never seen Kevin Miller in a situation where it's on the line, make it, and you win a game. So you'd love to see that for your senior. And you know what? I have all the confidence in the world in him because he's that kind of guy that he doesn't crack under pressure.
10 out of 12 this year. The senior from Virginia Beach. Paul Troth has led the Pirates back. East Carolina quarterback. Second down and 9. Ball is at the 20-yard line. Let's see what the play call will be here for the Pirates. They'll give it to Brown, and Brown is hit again. They're trying to strip the ball away. They can't get it down to the 18-yard line. Pirates will run another timeout. Stop the clock with 19 seconds to go. 14 seconds to go. Billy, they tried to bounce it
Yeah, outside.
I was surprised,
too. Yeah, I was very surprised. I figured, but you know what? A lot of times your head coach, when you get into a situation like this, and with the relationship that Steve Logan has with Kevin Miller, he may have asked him, Kevin, where do you want the ball?
I think that's what they were talking about on the sideline.
Yeah, Kevin may feel a little bit more comfortable kicking from the left hash mark as opposed from down in the field. We don't know what the wind's doing down there, if it's swirling, and that may have been a factor.
Because he will be kicking into the wind. And again, it's swirling at 20 miles an hour. There you see the flag high above Robertson Stadium. And so you might say, well, this is going to be a short field goal, but you throw in the wind conditions here, and it's going to make it a lot more difficult than what perhaps a normal 30, 35-yard field goal would be.
And I would imagine that Dana Dimmel, he's got 3 timeouts left. There's 14 seconds. He's probably going to call a timeout and try and ice Kevin Miller, but I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can rattle this kid. And I call him, he's going to get mad at me. Kevin's going to watch the broadcast, rebroadcast, and he's going to get mad at me calling him a kid.
3rd down and 7. They'll keep it on the ground, give it to Art Brown. Art gets a yard to the 16-yard line. I'll call another timeout right away. And they'll get it stopped. 10 seconds to go. Bentley with the tackle. Kevin Miller getting ready on the sideline. Well, we can't add a whole lot to this, folks. East Carolina 34, Houston 34. 10 seconds to play in the football game. And there's the senior from Virginia Beach.
Look at it. You can just see the confidence in him. He's not one that gets rattled. And, you know, if the game is on the line, you want it in the hands of your seniors and the guys that have been there. And this is a guy that's been there. He's been through the wars. And, you know, this could be it right here. The game winner if they get back on the field and Kevin Miller can ice it.
Houston still has 3 timeouts on the board, and you're right, Billy. It will be interesting to see if Dana Dimmel will burn a timeout or two here with Kevin coming out onto the field. I would think that he would, but let's see.
He may want to do it just to make him think about it.
The field goal unit is on. They're going to spot it down at the 22, a 32-yard field goal. Snap, ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. Kevin missed it from 32 yards out, and again, that win was probably a factor.
You saw him push it to the right. I think maybe he overcompensated on that left hash mark. He just pushed it wide right.
You talk about dodging a big-time bullet. Dana Dimmel just did, and I'd have bet the ranch, Billy, that he'd have made that one.
I would have, too. I really would have just, I'd have bet the farm on it.
But he's human, and sooner or later, everybody's going to miss one. He's been so terrific. And you can see...
Just barely.
Just barely. Didn't miss it by more than a few inches. And now we're staring right down the barrel of overtime. Joffrey Reynolds has 274 yards on 37 carries today.
Almost that magical 40-yard or 40-carry day for Joffrey Reynolds, and I got a feeling we're going to see old number 1 some more in overtime here.
They snap the ball, take a knee, 3 seconds to go, and there's a flag on the field. Well, who knows, Billy? Kevin may be able to come back and redeem himself.
Yes, he may get another chance. You're exactly right.
Illegal substitution offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Houston's been making an awful lot of mistakes in this fourth quarter. They've unraveled quite a bit with penalties, and Kevin Miller's thinking that one over on the sideline.
You know, Jeff, you talked about Kevin Miller maybe having the opportunity again to be in that same situation here in overtime because, of course, like college football, unlike the NFL, each team gets a shot at scoring.
Yep.
The NFL, a lot of times it comes down to a coin flip, and whoever gets it in the offensive side of the ball the first time could score, and the game's over. That's not the case in college football.
We're going to OT. would have ever believed it. Don't go away now. The Pirates have battled back to tie it. They had a chance to win it. They'll have to do it now in overtime. We're tied at 34. OT coming up from Houston. Dusk is beginning to settle over the nation's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. The lights are on. It's actually starting to get a little bit dark. And we're still playing football. Houston 34, East Carolina 34. And we're going to overtime at Robertson Stadium as the Pirates have battled back from a 34-17 deficit. They were behind at the end of one quarter, 14-0. Behind at halftime, 24-14. Behind 34-17 going into the fourth quarter. And now here they are after battling and battling back to tie at 34. Kevin Miller representing the Pirates as their team captain. Had a chance to win it and pushed a 32-yard field goal just a little wide. And now here we are in the overtime period with East Carolina trying to win the football game. There's a toss of the coin to see who will get the ball first.
White has selected to play defense. Which end of the field would you like to play the overtime period on, Red?
East Carolina's won the toss, so of course they, I guess the adage in the thinking in overtime is that you want to defend first. Because if you can hold the team from scoring, then all you have to do is go out and kick a field goal to win it. So East Carolina's won the toss. They'll give the ball to Houston first.
And elected to go on defense. Red has elected to play the overtime period at this end of the field.
So here we go. Billy, shades of last year in Mobile, huh?
Yes.
Well, let's hope the outcome's different.
Not as many points on the board, but...
as long as this game has been here today, it's almost as long as that game was.
You're right. This one has turned out to be a long one. Now, of course, East Carolina will be on defense first, and since they won the coin toss, Houston gets to elect which end of the field they want to defend. So, of course, they're going to stay back here where East Carolina, or excuse me, actually, they're going to go into the win. That's surprising.
I do surprise me. They're going to go into the win.
I would have thought that they would have wanted to defend this goal,
yes,
since it's going into the win.
Well, here we go in overtime, folks. Tied at 34, and Houston will get the handoff and a big-time hit made by Lorenzo Pickett.
There's the young fella coming up big.
There's the freshman out of Fayetteville, and he just lowered the boom on Reynolds. Big-time hit by Pickett. He's going to be a terrific linebacker here. And how about this, Billy? They've got him in here in crunch time.
Wow, and what does that say?
Yes.
What's that say about the ability of this young man in an overtime game that the coach is thinking enough of you as a freshman to be in there and look at, he steps up huge with a big loss of yardage on the first play in overtime.
And a true freshman, second down and 14. They'll keep it on the ground again. Bucking straight ahead is Reynolds gets the ball to about the 24-yard line. It's going to bring up third down. Houston being very conservative and handing the ball off here. That's 39 carries now for Dr. Reynolds. Dana Dimmel checking that playlist.
Yeah, this big defensive series here for East Carolina, if they can hold Houston from getting a first down or a touchdown here, then that'll force Houston to kick into the wind to try and get a field goal.
Third down and 9. Out of the shotgun, they're going to throw. Here's Eddie looking for a man wide open. Catches the ball. Touchdown, Brandon Middleton. Brandon Middleton broke through the middle, wide open in the seam. And Brandon Middleton makes his fourth touchdown grab of the year for the Houston Cougars. Now, he's been quiet all day, and he's been their big play guy all year long. On offense, he's been averaging 27 yards per catch. He's been quiet, but boy, with the game on the line, he comes up with a huge catch, and he's just wide open.
Wide open. Like you said, went right down the seam. He's lined up in the slot, and just hit him in stride.
Here comes the extra point now from Dustin Bell. This is big, and he nails it. Can the Pirates respond? Boy, Billy, they had him. Third and 9.
Yeah.
And Pickett had made the great play on first down. And Eddie has a really good touch on the ball. He just kind of floated that one out there, let Middleton run under it. And now the Pirates have their backs against the wall.
Sorry, Pirates have to come out, and they have to score a touchdown here.
Yep.
No ifs,
no
ands,
field
or
goals
buts.
now.
No field goals.
And then what do you do if you score? Do you Kick the extra point, or you go for two to win it. A lot of guys in that situation, a lot of coaches go for two and say, we're going for broke right here.
I don't know. I'm a conservative kind of guy. I think you send it into another overtime.
So now can the Pirates answer? Houston has scored in the overtime period. They lead 41-34. Pirates with the ball. Art Brown goes for about 4 to the 21-yard line. Second down and 6. Big number 76 for East Carolina. Charlie Dempsey getting up a little bit slow. The young man out of Jacksonville. I'll tell you what, this is a dog fight in the trenches here.
It certainly is, and this is where the offensive line for East Carolina just has to dig as deep as they possibly can and just try and blow guys off the ball.
Second and 6, Troth looking to throw. He's going to throw it short. It's caught by Eddie Rios. Rios with the ball into the middle of the field. He's going to be hit. Still drives forward inside the 10. He's down to about the 8 or 9 yard line.
Big play by Eddie Rios. A good job cutting across the middle, getting yards after the catch. And East Carolina setting up shop now inside the 10-yard line. That was a big first down for East Carolina. Now they're in striking distance.
First down and goal from the 8-yard line. First and goal from the 8. Pirates trail by 1 touchdown. We're in the first overtime period. 41-34. They'll keep it on the ground. They give it to Art Brown. Art is stopped and pushed back. Big number 91 leading the charge. Brian Hill, a 290-pound senior out of Winter Haven, Florida, met Art Brown head on. Second and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, look at the pressure by the defensive front of Houston, just pushing their way through, and wow, it's just a gang tackle there at the point of attack.
Art Brown's had a 100-yard day, 102 yards on 24 carries. He has a good play that time by Hill.
Now, Jeff, what I would like to see right here, second down, play action pass, and try and go to the end zone.
Second down and goal.
He's got Vonta Leach in the backfield now.
At the 9, Troth looking, still looking, going to step up, going to try and run with the ball, and he's hit and knocked down. He got back to the line of scrimmage. Now it's third down and goal, but a good decision by Paul. Nobody was open. He didn't force it. He didn't panic. Said, okay, I'll just take what I can get here, and we'll try it again.
Yeah, I was surprised to see them line up in a single back set with Vonta Leach, the lone man in the backfield there. I was a little bit surprised about that.
Third down and goal at the 9. So a couple of runs once they got the ball to the 8-yard line, and they blocked the yard on the Brown run and the Troth run. Troth looking to throw. He will dump it off. It's caught at the 5-yard line. The ball carrier going down. That's Art Brown out of the backfield, and the Pirates are at the 4. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 4, and the Pirates are down to their last bullet here.
Good play call here to try and get guys free. You fake the reverse, but man, the defensive guys for Houston just not biting on the fake at all, and they just stuffed Art Brown right in his tracks.
So it comes down to this, folks. The Pirates playing for their lives. We're in the first overtime. Houston has scored on a touchdown pass from Eddie to Middleton. They go up 41-34. We were tied at the end of regulation, 34-34. Houston got the ball first in overtime. They put the ball in the end zone. The Pirates now with the football. They moved it down to the 4-yard line. They're down to their last bullet. 4th down and goal from the 4. They have to put the ball into the end zone to remain alive. If they don't, the ball game is over and Houston wins. Troth today, 20 of 31, 344 yards. Billy, he's had some really good numbers today.
He certainly has, and we saw in the second half of the game, and especially later on in the second half of the game, Paul Troth really starting to get into a rhythm. He's starting to really mature as a quarterback in this system.
That is his best day as a Pirate. He threw for 339 yards against South Florida. Well, they're on their feet here in Houston. They know it comes down to this. The Pirates have to score, and they have to get the extra point or the 2-point conversion. But this is the play right here. 4th and 4 for the Pirates at the Houston 4-yard line. They trail 41-34 in overtime. Troth's going to throw the ball. Waiting. He's going to float it out.
Wide open.
Out there, catches the ball. Torey Morris catches the ball. He stays in bounds. Great catch by Torey Morris. The Pirates have 6 on the board. It's 41-40. Troth waited and waited, and Torey Morris makes a great catch.
Man, you talk about pressure on a catch for Torey Morris and pressure in the throw, because Torey Morris was absolutely wide open. A lot of young quarterbacks will overthrow a guy in that situation. Paul Troth found him, and Torey Morris with an absolutely wonderful catch.
Here's the extra point. It is up by Kevin Miller, and it's good. And, folks, we haven't had enough fun yet here. We're going into double overtime. Second overtime period coming up. We were tied at 34 at the end of regulation. We're tied at 41 after one. Going to double OT. Houston will have the ball when we come back.
Let's just start with a deliberate lie. I am an albino chimpanzee. True? Good. Please read this.
With Sprint Solutions, you get long distance for 6 cents a minute, whether you call in-state or anywhere across the country, no matter.
Which ends in the Pirates.
Call now, 1-877-1-SOLUTION.
So we switch ends, and the Pirates get the ball. Having scored last, they get the ball at the other end of the field. And it brings up second down and 5 yards to go.
You know, Jeff, what I've noticed about Paul Troth this year is he's such a competitor. The guy never gives up. He never gives up. And, you know, that showed on the very last play. He could have well overthrown that ball. And Torey Morris, you got to give credit for him. What a great catch Torey Morris made.
Pirates keep it on the ground and give it to Marvin Towns. Marvin is hit and going down at the 20-yard line. You know, Paul's had to really fight through, Billy, a lot of adversity this year. There were such great expectations for him and this team, and things have sputtered, and he's come under some criticism, but I'll tell you what, he has handled it beautifully. And I don't know how many people 19 years old could handle some of the things Paul Troth had to handle this year, but he's never gotten down. He's had a smile on his face, and
wow, look at the numbers.
Yeah, he's a strong young man. 21 out of 32 today. Had a big-time day. He's looking to throw. He's going to throw, and the ball's batted down. He got the ball back. Going to throw the ball, and then it's caught down at the 1-yard line by Richard Austin. He tries to lean into the end zone, and they're going to call it a touchdown.
Oh, my.
Troth
How about Paul Troth?
Was batted back into his face. He got it the second time, and then threw the touchdown pass to Austin, and maybe the Pirate luck's beginning to change here a little today.
I tell you, man, the ball is bouncing the way of the Pirates, and I thought he was sacked on that play, definitely. Paul Troth fought, and he found Richard Austin somehow. And there it is, 7-point lead. That is absolutely huge in this second overtime.
Troth throws the touchdown pass, and there he is visiting with Desmond Robinson on the bench. The Pirates now lead it 48-41. Now Houston will have the ball when we come back. If the Pirates stop them, they win the game in double overtime. We're coming right back.
Tired of wimpy, paper-thin pizzas? Next time, go deep with the new Chicago Dish Pizza from Pizza Hut. The deepest.
Look, Petey's already here, and he's ready to paint this one purple. Crump, can I get...
Funky marinara sauce and topped off with freshly grated cheese. So deep, you'll need a fork to eat it. The Chicago Dish Pizza. New at Pizza Hut. Go deep.
Crump, you realize that Trademark now has 95 North Carolina locations? Boss, I didn't even score 95 touchdowns. Yeah, but you did all right. You're in 2 Hall of Fame. Come on, we're late. Let's get to Trademark. Look, Petey's already here, and he's ready to paint this one purple. Crump, can I get a fill-up for my new Saturn View from Saturn of Greenville? No problem, boss. Trademark has the best prices around, and they're so easy to find. So take it from us. For gas, for snacks, Trademark is your only stop. It's what we call Pirates supporting Pirates. They jumped the gun on us while we were away. They lined up, and Joffrey Reynolds took it 25 yards for the touchdown. Bill adds the extra point, and we're tied again at 48. We apologize. They jumped the gun on us, and here was the run that you missed during the commercial break, as Joffrey Reynolds just takes it 25 yards to the house on the first play in the second overtime for Houston. And here we are again, tied going into the third overtime at 48. Joffrey Reynolds, 40 carries, 301 yards today for the Cougars.
That is absolutely amazing. 40 carries for 300 yards, and on that play, he was barely touched 25 yards going into the end zone. You've got to stop Joffrey Reynolds, but they haven't been able to stop him all day. So, you know what? In a situation like this, you got to just keep scoring.
Who's going to crack first?
That's right. That's what it's going to come down to. Somebody is going to make a mistake, and that's what's going to win this ballgame.
Marshall beat the Pirates in a similar situation. You remember last year in Mobile in 3 overtimes. And let's see what will happen here. You talk about emotions going up and down, Billy, in this one.
You are not kidding. It's a roller coaster ride in this overtime for sure.
How in the world will we ever come up with 35 to 38 highlights like we do on the Steve Logan show after this ball game? It's going to be tough to edit it down to 35 plays, isn't it?
Maybe we can just start in the fourth quarter. You know, it was 6-0 after the first quarter, or no, after way into the first quarter.
Yeah, 14-0 at the end of one.
Yeah, but it was late into the first quarter. It was 6-0, and it kind of dragged along a little bit there for a while. Because after that first touchdown run, you thought that maybe it was going to be a drag them out kind of game, but then, man, both of these teams have absolutely exploded, especially in the second half.
So the Pirates will send their defense back out there again. Houston 48, East Carolina 48. And even though the bowl game certainly was a bigger game because it was a bowl game against Marshall down in Mobile last year, a game that was a very important game, of course, in the postseason. That's a game you'll never forget, and even though this was a regular season game against two teams that, quite frankly, have had mediocre at best years, this is one that you won't forget because we're looking at triple overtime here.
Right, and this is a pivotal game, especially for East Carolina. If they win this game, they could get on a roll and really make things happen. If they lose this game, you know, you don't know what could happen.
Here we go. There's Reynolds again, and this time they get him. Jermaine Duckett says, not this time, Joffrey.
Big number 99.
He wraps him up.
He just kind of brushes him off there.
They're going to see this guy in their sleep.
Yeah, they certainly are. I'm going to see this guy in my sleep. 300 yards. Wow.
41 carries. That's a Carlester Crumpler day back in the 70s. Crump used to tote it 35 and 40 times.
Hey, if you got the horse, ride him.
Second down and 10. The Pirates stopped him on first down. We're in triple OT. This time they give it to the...
Oh, ball's on the ground.
Ball's on the ground. The Pirates come up with a ball.
What I say, it's going to come down to a mistake. That could be the mistake that breaks this game open.
Krishan Gilliam, who's so oftentimes Johnny on the spot for the Pirates. He has a nose for the football, and he comes up with it.
Here it is. Watch Evans in there and not Joffrey Reynolds. Joffrey Reynolds had the first carry and then gets a breather on the sideline. Evans comes in, and how about Travis Heath, the game he's had today?
He's had a great game today. Now the Pirates can win it. Krishan coming up with a big play. There's defensive coordinator Tim Rose. And now here's Paul Troth. Pirates need a touchdown or a field goal to win it in 3 overtimes. They'll hand it off to Art Brown. He'll get around the corner. Art to the 30. Art to the 10. Art to the 5. Art Brown is in! Touchdown, Pirates! You can paint this one purple! What a comeback by the Pirates in 3 overtimes. East Carolina wins it 54-48. Art Brown takes it to the house in the 3rd overtime period. What a win for East Carolina. Brown, 131 yards on 26 carries today, and the big one, he takes it all the way before the touchdown in the third overtime period, and East Carolina comes back and wins an incredible game here today in Houston, 54-48 in 3 overtimes, coming from a 34-17 deficit. We're coming back. We'll collect our thoughts, try and get Coach Logan on the sideline. If we can, or we're running late, we may just go ahead and sign it off here. We're going to have to get off the air. We've gone so late here today. And we want to thank everyone for hanging in there with us. And, Billy, we say it often, don't ever give up on the Pirates.
Never give up. An absolutely amazing comeback. These guys were just scrappy the entire game, and I tell you what, it paid off, and it came down to that one mistake, that one turnover by the Houston Cougars, and the Pirates, Art Brown, makes them pay.
And guess what? They're 3-1 in the conference now, so the conference hopes are still alive.
Can you believe it?
Yep, going to Birmingham. My thanks today to Billy Weaver and also to Amanda Ross and to all of you for listening to this incredible comeback from Houston. The Pirates painted purple here today at Robertson Stadium in triple overtime, 54-48. Jeff Charles saying so long, everybody.